Welcome to Raw Live. This is I was gonna do just like a regular breakdown one, but I was on a space with Polo, Frank, and Broadway and Michael, so I was like, might as well just do this bad boy live. This post, so they'll probably be joining soon. I'm assuming. Sending this out right now. Might as well just put this out to the world. Honestly, the clipboard. But yeah, we're gonna do a breakdown of the Ruiz Ortiz fight. Of course, Broadway's gonna want to talk about Santos and the massive upset over Rayo. It's gonna get good. It's gonna be entertaining. See, just waiting for everybody to pop up. Let's see here, do I have all the invites sent out? I don't think I sent one out. So Polo. They'll join right now. It's gonna have patience. It's gonna have patience in this game. But yeah, we have. I thought honestly it was a very good fight. I thought Ortiz versus Ruiz was a very entertaining fight. I thought it was very competitive. I see kind of more negativity towards it. I think that pre-fight excitement is a key thing in boxing, and it's also like what your perception is going into the fight of like how you see it playing out, like what your excitement level for it is for the fight really determines on how you like grade the fight, like the post-fight grade. I really believe that. And I don't think much people were excited about this fight. I think a lot of people were actually kind of critical of this matchup. And that kind of led to them to just be like, it was a boring fight and all those things. So we got Broadway.
Yo, what's going on?
Can you hear me? All right, good. We're good. What's up? All right. I was just saying right now that this was not planned. This is just we were just having a good space. I was like, might as well take this onto my channel.
Hell yeah. We gotta get your channel popping, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Yo, bro, now that I got you on the space, yo, you a funny ass dude, man.
I appreciate it.
So, like, I think your niche is definitely you, like being like the boxing comedian. Like, you can still report your news, still give your. You got to figure out like, a funny way to do it. I feel like you have the personality for it. And you're genuinely funny. It's not some people, there's a try hard, a guy.
Yeah, there's forcing it.
Yeah, no. You're just naturally funny, especially on these Twitter spaces. You with your little shtick and the email. So I'm like,
I haven't honestly. I haven't even talked about like the fact that Janabek blocked me on Twitter on any of my podcasts. This has not been brought up yet. But Janabek does have me blocked on Twitter. Like, just so if anyone's listening, I am blocked on Janabek's Twitter. And it's the strangest thing because I'm Janabek's #1 fan. Like, it's not even debatable. It really isn't. It's just accepted that I'm his #1 fan, and I'm blocked. And I'm literally, they say stand because of the Eminem music video. It's literally turning into that, right? Where I'm like turning negative towards him because he just doesn't appreciate me as a fan. It's really what it is.
I just don't. I hope the story don't end like how that.
Yeah, I don't know how it ends. Honestly, I'm still riding with them because honestly, when it comes to the end of the day, and I always stand by this, the #1 thing that I root for is my own opinion, and my opinion is that Janabek would beat Andrade, and my opinion that Janabek would beat Charlo, and so I just root for my opinion. So at the end of the day, the biggest fan I am is of myself, in my opinion, and that still stands.
I just want to say one thing. He does not beat Carlos Adames, all right?
You know what? Just the run that Dominicans have been on, I can't doubt you. I really can't. I cannot doubt you. I just, it's amazing. I want to wait till Polo gets on because I know Polo, it's kind of like, you need someone to like, when you're right about something, there needs to be someone a target that you choose, and Polo's always a good target for something like that. So I want him to get on before we start talking about Santos.
The thing is with Polo is like he was trolling me and whatever. I get it. Like I like to have fun on the internet too. So he was trolling me how Rayo's gonna knock this guy out. It's gonna be easy work, and how he's gonna gas out. And all these things. Okay, and whatever. I can take the jokes. But then when you're wrong and I'm right, don't fucking I wasn't making Rayo out to be like Julio Cesar Chavez. Like, no, don't you I have the receipts, brother. I keep
Yeah, you got to get your credit at that point, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like all I want him to say is go, oh shit, you were right. De Los Santos is good. And then he tries to say, you heard him on his face. Oh, I never heard you say you was I'm like, bro, are you not subscribed? Like
I
that's
don't think he's subscribed. Honestly, I don't think he's subscribed because if he's challenging that point, he must not be subscribed.
no, not even that. You've been on these spaces with me. What have I been saying?
Yeah, it's been very clear that you were saying Santos by upset.
Yeah. So he wasn't trying to give me my credit, but it's all right. He's such a brown supremacist. He can't give my credit. You know? It's all good, man. So you wanted to break down the Ruiz Ortiz fight?
Yeah. So I think that fight is like I was saying. What were you feeling going into that fight? First of all, what was your excitement level for that fight?
My excitement level was very low. Not because I think that this was a bad fight. I just think that Ortiz, after his performance against Martin earlier this year, or was it last year? I think it was earlier this year. But anyways, after that performance, I realized he wasn't the same King Kong. I'm a big King Kong fan, but every dog has his day. He got old, and he showed it in that Martin fight. Did he get the stoppage? Yes. But he got dropped twice. Once by it was like a glancing jab. It wasn't even like a full-on power jab. It was a glancing jab. He got dropped.
Yeah.
Then he got dropped with an overhand left, and he just his legs looked slow, and he looked like I just was not expecting him to be in his prime. And to be honest, I think that's what we saw. We saw a guy who just couldn't get off against a younger guy. I would have picked Ortiz by knockout had this been 5-6 years ago, but it's not 5-6 years ago. So that was my mentality going into this fight.
Yeah, so I think that like really sways people like when they like judge how good of a fight was, right? Like I think if you're like you're not didn't have excitement going in, right? I think you're kind of like already negative about it, if that makes sense. So I thought that was a pretty entertaining fight. Like I really did. I thought it was pretty entertaining. I thought it was really competitive. I thought it was back and forth. So I was like, I just kind of was like the reception I think it got after was just kind of like negative, and it was just like, oh, that was a boring fight. But what's up, Clever? But yeah, but I just think that it was boring because people had the perception that it was going to be that going in, and I think that it was very entertaining. I thought that the fact that Luis Ortiz has 0 legs, can't take a punch anymore, and was still going the full distance and winning rounds late. I was like, wow, that it just shows how skilled this guy really was. And in his prime, I thought he wins that fight pretty handily. And I think we had the proof of that by even how it happens. I think maybe people felt that going into it, but I think even that's like solidified my proof of it is that he wins that fight handily if he's in his prime.
I don't think this fight was entertaining. And I do see your point that your excitement level is low. Maybe your how you look at the fight is going to be low, but the activity level for both fighters was so low to the point where I'm like, there was rounds where they were just feinting each other and or they would throw one punch and maybe it landed, maybe it didn't, but it was too slow of a pace.
Yeah, I get you. I just thought the competitiveness of it too, though, like just like the back and forth of it.
No, it was a competitive fight, with the exception of the knockdowns. But competitive doesn't always mean entertaining.
See, that's where I differ. I think competitive does for me at least that's entertaining. Like competitive to me, like where I'm not sure who's going to win the fight, because I also thought that the commentary did a horrible job for the fight. I thought the commentary was like one of the worst that I've heard in a while because they were not selling this fight right. Like they were just like, Ortiz is out of it. He's down like multiple rounds. He has no chance of winning a scorecard in this fight. And it's like, no, that wasn't the case. Like he was actually very much in it. And every time he got dropped, it was very interesting because he would, right when he would tie it up, when he got dropped, like that was a huge part. Like he went down 2 rounds at that point. And it was like, oh, he had just evened it up after being dropped, like having literally a 10-7 round. And losing a few early rounds, like he literally tied it up and then got dropped again the next round. So like there were just points right out like commentary didn't do any good on this, like didn't do a good job like selling this fight.
Yeah, I mean, I had the commentary off. I actually was watching it while being on a Twitter space because I'm addicted to Twitter spaces apparently. But yeah, no, I didn't hear the commentary, but I did think it was I didn't score the fight, but you said you had it 7-5 Ortiz, but with the knockdowns, you favor Ruiz. I think that's a pretty accurate scorecard. Like, off of just what I saw with my eyes, it's pretty accurate.
Yeah, that's what I think. I thought that I was like, yeah, he won more rounds, but he just the rounds that he lost were like the knockdowns are just was key. He has a 10-8 round and a 10-7 round, and that put Ruiz over. And it's funny because like the way I score fights, I do it by like just 1 point, right? Like so, say if you win a round, I give you 1 point. If the guy wins around, I give him 1 point. But it gets super confusing because it sounds like I have like 8-6, and you're like, well, how many rounds are there? And it was getting super confusing in this fight because there was a 10-7 and a 10-8 round. So I could tell people were getting a little frustrated with me because they were like, what the hell is this guy doing? That's more rounds than there are in a fight.
Bro, you don't learn from the official scorecard, bro? I thought you were an official scorecard graduate.
That's the way I scored the official scorecard. That's exactly the way I score it. And then at the end, I do the calculations on a calculator, and it takes forever. But okay. That's exactly how I score it.
I got you.
I got Clever on here. Clever, are you on? Can you hear us?
Yeah, my bad. I'm here, man.
Oh, okay.
What's up, dudes? What's up, Broadway?
What's going on, bro?
Clever, you were on a space the other day. I gotta give you credit. You were on at about 12 o'clock, right? Is when I joined. It got heated quick, right? And I mean heated. And you were battling the room. I got off. I had to do some stuff. I got back on around 8 o'clock at night, and you were still battling with 4 different people. And it was 4 new people too. It wasn't like the same people. So you understand, these are people with new energy, new stamina. And they were you still were battling with them. And I was like, damn, that's like, you know how tiring that is? Like the stamina you had to have to keep that space going for the amount of hours you did. I got to give you credit. I really do.
Thanks, Ezra. Thanks for joining too.
Yeah, no, of course.
You know what's funny, man? Like, I don't know, man. Some people think I have hot takes. I don't think that at all. I'm just telling you guys what I see with my eyes and up to date, current status. That's literally what it is. And I'd rather people just tell me they disagree with me than just keep going off what they think. And that's fine. Like, I'm cool. Like, I'm cool with whatever people say, man. We're just talking boxing. And I have an opinion, and that's all it is. It's just an opinion. But people will get crazy and get personal and whatever angle they want to go. And the moment I match that energy, you know, that's what you hear. But it's nothing personal, man. And I think nothing of it. I think
that's a very fair way to take it.
I mean, I just say if a bunch of people feel the same way about you, it ain't the bunch of people. Sometimes you got.
Well. Oh. You say that, but then when I ask, what is it that's going on? It's always nothing.
No. Nothing. Here's what I'm saying. Okay, I don't think Clever saying that's like a percent. I think he's saying my opinion is my opinion, but people can't just take his opinion as his opinion. They have to go further than it. Yeah. And instead of saying like, hey, I just disagree, Clever, it seems like that does get kind of personal. I kind of agree with you on that, Clever. I do think it
gets personal.
It gets more like.
And quickly, like, dude, I'm an honest guy, man. Like, I don't come into any space or anyone's chat or anything. When I say honest, just like, this is what you get with me. This is what you get it in person. So, and I tell people straight up what I think. And if I think you're bullshit, I'll say that. But that's nothing, again, like, I'm not trying to attack you or anything. But that's what it is. That's what it is.
I will say this though, you are out in the deep end on this fight. The Crawford Spence not happening, and I'm really concerned if the fight does happen.
I don't even care about that stuff, man. I mean, for starters, again, like someone will go against my point, and I'll be like, okay, cool, and I'll say something. They're already at my neck, and then I'll be like, okay, well, they'll tell me something. Not even tell me something. I'll be like, what is that based on? Whatever they tell me, and I get crickets. But the moment I disagree with you, it's just upheaval. So I mean, what can we say about that? What can we say?
Exactly. And like I said, it's going to play out. So we'll see how it plays out. And you know what if you're right at the end of this? And then everybody's just going to kind of have to eat it at that point, right? But I'm surprised because I did ask you whether you're rooting for it to happen or not. And I admit this 100%. Like I was saying, I really am a fan of my own opinion. And if I was that deep in with like how you are, that fight's not going to happen, I'd be rooting every day that it didn't happen. Like I really would, because I just want to be right.
I'm
And
not.
I respect that. I respect that you're
I'm
not rooting for your opinion to be
that.
right.
And that's such the elephant in the room, that fight, man. But I've stood tall, and I literally everything I say about that fight, man, is open. It's public knowledge. I've not said anything new. I've not said anything more, anything less. And my references are literally, I go straight to the source. Those references will be coming from Steven himself in a Fight Hub video, damn near interviews in Chicken Talk, or someone whom I've seen on YouTube and trust them. I'll go there, or the actual fighters themselves. But before summer even rolled around, man, like April 17th, 2022, or not even April 16th, night of Spence Ugas, that's when I dropped that dime on us. So it is what it is, man. I hope we get it, but my gut feeling has always been Terrence was going to come to the table pretty messed up, and that's what he's done thus far. So, and if you want to put any blame on Errol, I challenge anyone to think that's him and prove me wrong on that. I don't think it's him, not at all.
What's good, Bravo? You ever find that you have an opinion and then you went so hard on it that you just kind of have to root for it? Do you ever get to that position?
Maybe in the past I have, not necessarily. I can't think of a YouTube opinion, but I'll give you one. And
Sure.
This one you may may not care because you don't care about the sanctioning bodies, but I was arguing pretty hard that Teofimo is undisputed back when that was.
Yeah, back when we first met, I remember that.
And the thing is with me is, if you wanted to get technical, like down to the meat bones, I knew he wasn't undisputed, but I argued so hard he was, because
you gotta stay with it.
No, that, and I just felt like, all right, there's clearly a dispute, right, as to if he's undisputed or undisputed, and my argument was always, okay, well, let's like, if we took this to a court, and the judge was like, all right, you present your evidence and you present your evidence, Devin Haney, like Teofimo would be like, this is my proof that I'm undisputed. I beat Comey. And then after that, I beat Loma. And then Haney's argument would be, well, I was the WBC interim champ. And then, Vasyl Lomachenko, he became the franchise champion. And although the WBC president says that title is worth more than my belt, I was elevated to regular champions. And that's, and I found out through an email, so that's how I became champion. It's like, all right, well, the dispute if of what it is there. The dispute is on Devin Haney's side. This guy beat Lomachenko, a 2-time gold medalist, a 3-time division champion. You happen to be a WBC interim belt, and then the president of your organization is not saying you're a champion. It's saying that Teofimo's the undisputed. So my position was always, who the fuck did Devin Haney beat to become champion? And obviously, Teofimo beat a better fighter to get that belt. So that's why I was always arguing that he was undisputed. And it got to the point where I was like, all right, technically, if there's a dispute, you can't be undisputed. But I was so deep that I really couldn't, jump out.
Yeah, and you know what the thing is too, is like, it's punishing Teo for nothing that he did, right? Like saying like, oh no, well, you didn't really. It's a belt that they say is on the line, right? And he wins it, but they're saying, oh no, you're not the actual champ because Devin Haney is. But it's like no fault of his own. Now maybe Devin Haney is an actual champ. Okay, that's fine. But you split up the belts. I didn't make the rules. You made your own rules, and I just won the belt per your rules. That's why I hate all these belts. That's why I hate the whole sanctioning bodies, because they do stupid stuff like this, and there's nothing ever clear. But yeah, I'm kind of with you too. I always thought Teo was undisputed too, but whatever happened, he lost to Kambosos, and that was it.
That was a weird move, bro. Because if you remember, when they were gonna do the fight, they strip Haney apparently because of his injury or he had surgery, right? Didn't that happen? Because he was supposed to fight on that card Eddie Hearn had during the Super Bowl weekend. I guess he couldn't because he got injured, and they stripped him apparently. And they just I remember that the whole incident where they actually stripped him, and then Loma became the champion, and then they kind of stripped Loma, the franchise. Like, what was that about? That was confusing because Haney was the interim belt, then they stripped him, and then he got the belt back, which makes no sense. Like, you remember that around that time?
I don't remember that. I don't remember that.
A couple things I want to add is like this kind of what we're talking about and how you started it, Ezra. Is that look, man? When new information comes about, you should take it. You don't have to, go against the grain all the time because, in my opinion, I think if you do, you're just stubborn. So just because like I had my mind's fixated on one thing and then something happened or something again, new information came about, I can change my mind. Anyone can change their mind. I think you should take that type of information. And as far as the belts go, I've always been saying this here as of late. They make it really difficult to find out who the best is and if the best are even fighting the best. But other than that, love them. It's the good, bad, ugly situation. I try to be consistent with that stuff. So when people say, hang on, like when people hate on the regular champs, look, man, they're the champions. That's what it is. They're even the latest regular champions. That's not the first class of like first time regular champions. Another thing is, dude, countless people have been elevated to full-time champ. Keith Thurman did the same thing. Hell, Janabek just got fully elevated. I mean, just because you get it through an email, that doesn't I wouldn't hold that against anybody, man. Especially if you're the number one guy, even the number 1B guy, i.e. 2. So it is what it is, man. Like again, coming back to that consistency thing, got to be consistent with all of it. Like it's.
I'll tell you where it's going to get complicated with the belts. If Tank and Ryan actually does get made, the winner of that's going to have a very good claim to being the best guy at 135. And there'll be a guy that doesn't really have, Devin Haney has all the belts, like really, if you think about it. And I think the winner of that fight would have a really good claim to be the.
I think that's just
no, that's fair. It is an opinion, but I'm saying, okay, if Tank and Ryan wins, right? Wouldn't you think? Oh, that's probably, they probably have the best win at 135 pounds. Whoever wins that fight, I would think that.
No, Tio still has the best win at 135.
No, but Tio's not there no more.
I understand that, but like out of those guys, who literally Ryan and Tank, since we put those guys on that kind of King 4 stuff, pedestal type shit, like.
But
yeah.
Ezra,
and then division, so he's no longer in the competition.
Yeah, he's not in the division. He left.
Yo, Ezra, but Ryan has never been a champion, and Tank has been a champion at a lower weight. So it's like, I mean, Tank is very skillful. Like, you give him that, but I don't think that because if Ryan beats him, he would have a good win. But if Gervonta beats Ryan, it's a good win, but it's not like a Lomachenko win because, bro, if we're being honest, Ryan really hasn't proved like he got the skills, but hasn't like he been a champion. Now, if he did become a champion like at 130, we could say that because we know what he is, but it's just he's not really as proven as Lomachenko was, as these other guys that were.
So would you say what's a better win than Kambosos or Ryan right now?
Well,
bro, Kambosos was literally unified lineal. I think.
Oh, it's Ryan. No, stop. It's Ryan.
Well, how is it Ryan though? What belt has Ryan had though? No,
see, I think
Ryan had.
I think you both have. I think you both have a point. I think Polo makes an excellent point, and it's probably a point that people wouldn't expect Polo to make, but I think it's actually an excellent point, right? I think it's a point that Ryan Garcia really isn't. I
all champions aren't created equal, though.
No, but I'm saying he's not even a champion. He doesn't even have a belt. He has good wins, and to me, he's been dominant to this point. But he doesn't have like that win, right? He doesn't have that Loma win. He doesn't have a win at that level. Now, yeah, and if you got Haney, right? Haney's beaten Jojo Diaz. He beaten Kambosos. Yeah, he has 2 solid wins. Gervonta Tank Davis doesn't. Well, what does Tank Davis have at 135 that you're like running home about?
Rolly Romero.
That's what I'm saying. Tank Davis, honestly, if we're being honest, Tank Davis and Ryan both really don't have big wins at 135. I mean, if who at 135 were we like, oh damn, that's a great win for Tank?
Nobody.
Nobody.
People are raving about this Cruz fella now.
Oh, I've got.
Whoa,
You know what? You
whoa,
brought
whoa, whoa,
that.
whoa.
Wait. You brought that up.
Oh,
Let me
shit.
get to.
No, no.
Let's.
To be fair, that Cruz win actually might age well, Ezra. You were telling me, bro, he just stopped a man that hasn't been stopped. So I think Cruz
Let
win,
me.
but he's not proven though. That's
Let
the
me get to
thing. Like,
the. Let me get to the Cruz one. Let me tell you what the problem with Cruz is. First of all, he is man-made, 100% man-made hype job. I'm going to say that. Whether
Oh
he
yeah,
proves to be better than what I've
agreed.
seen, but he has done nothing to earn what he is being considered. Right? He beats Gamboa, who is an old washed fighter. Right?
the same Gamboa that went 12 with
Yes,
Tank
I know.
and almost
He
made
was
it.
washed.
I'm
He was washed against all of them. He also goes a full decision with Vargas, a full 12 rounds or 10 rounds with Vargas, a full fight with Vargas, right? Who's wash
as well.
Wash. And then he fights Eduardo Ramirez, who was good at 126 pounds, just moved up to 130 and looked okay at that point, right? Didn't look great. Didn't look like, oh, okay. He looked small at 130. And then they pull him to 135 for God knows what reason. It doesn't make any sense. There's no explanation on that. They'll be like, oh, yeah, that was a good move up for him. This is a good fight. No. And he looked tiny in there. He looked like he did not want to stay in there for any punches. He looked like he couldn't take anything, and he understood that. And as soon as he got touched, he went out, and it was to be expected. But it's a hype job what this guy is. And you know what bothers me? And I'm not a guy. I'm trying to be more positive for the fighters. I want to be more of a positive thing, but I'm going to say what bothers me about Isaac Cruz is he has a tough fight with Tank, right? Which really Tank hurts his hand, and that's the reason why it's tough. But then he tells Ryan Garcia, no, I can't fight you, even though you're offering my biggest payday, right? Or my second biggest payday, I guess that, or equal to my biggest payday.
That part, say it again.
You're gonna come to PBC. You're gonna come to PBC, and I'm gonna be the A side. I'm gonna make the calls, and that's what's gonna happen now. And it's like, what the hell are you talking about? You're gonna be the A side to Ryan Garcia now because what? You had a semi-competitive fight because one judge screwed it up and said that you won the fight. No. It's nonsense. That's what I'm telling you. This guy is smoke and mirrors. That everything they're doing with him, it's all could be explained. Every outcome for him that's positive could be explained. And I'm not going to buy this whole hype job they're doing with this guy. It's obvious that they don't have a lot of faith in him because they're not putting him in there tough with anyone.
Put him in against Michelle.
Put him in with anyone in that. Put him in with Rolly. Put him in with anyone. I want to see it, but they won't do it.
I want to see him with some Dominicans, man. Let Dominicans get that rub off, man. Beat that easy guy.
Yo, but Ezra, but then if he fights Rolly, knocks him out, y'all just gonna say, oh, Rolly.
No.
No.
I would give him credit for being. I would say he beat at least a guy that's a contender and actually proven in that weight class, right? Actually proven that he can be in that weight class. Actually could prove. Because I actually like some of the things Rolly showed with Tank. But be honest with you, I like some of the things he showed in that fight.
No. I think that's a hype job. That was not Tank.
Definitely. No, definitely.
He's not good.
Definitely.
Rolly's not good, man.
He's definitely He's definitely hype job. But at least he beat guys that actually weighed in the division or guys that were actually in their prime.
What guys?
Sparrow, they actually weigh in that weight division and they actually are in their fighting prime right now. But if you're talking about Isaac Cruz is fighting guys that are washed, or he's fighting 126 pounders. I mean, let's just be fair with it, right? If we're gonna give Tank fighting Leo Santa Cruz, who is actually a very good fighter, right? A proven level, but we take credit away from him because he's small, then let's take credit away from Isaac Cruz for fighting 126 pounder at 135. Let's be consistent with it then.
Yo, but I was gonna tell you, so you don't think when he fought Madaleno, that wasn't a good win? Madaleno was ranked, and Madaleno fucking almost went to distance with the.
I will say this: that's his most credible win. I'll give you that. That's his most credible win. I'll give you that.
Yo, but
I don't think he's a hype job. I think
Polo,
he's
damn, bro.
Let it probably go.
I didn't realize his resume was that weak until you just broke it down like that. That shit is crazy. Yo,
it's insane.
I really didn't realize that. And one thing that George Foreman used to always say is be careful of rating a guy high because he lost good. He always used to say that, and he said that about Razor Ruddock. He said that about a few guys. If you're like, oh no, that guy's a good fighter because he had a bunch of close fights, and not that Cruz had a bunch of close fights. He just had one against Tank. He's like, those guys usually are just losers, and and then honestly, he hasn't beaten anybody to really prove he's a winner. And then the one big fight he was in a close fight where a guy broke his hand.
Yeah,
He lost to a guy with
that's what I'm
one
saying.
hand.
But I have a question. He's not gonna get credit for. I mean, he gave Tank a fight, so we're gonna use that hand excuse. I'm just saying, if it's that easy, shouldn't Tank rematch him and take the doubt, or should he fight
Well,
Rolly? Then when he
well,
knocks out
No,
Rolly,
he got beat by a guy with one hand.
bro. To me, I don't care. It
What?
doesn't mean wrong. It doesn't affect me if it happens. I'm just saying, if he's that easy, I think he's
no.
he's
I'll be honest with
legit.
you. I'll be honest with you, Polo. I think the money team is smiling ear to ear that the people that they have the general fans, right, like casuals, they think that's a competitive fight. I think they're smiling ear to ear that they get to do that for number 2, and it's going to be a lot of buzz behind it. I think they have no problem doing that. Maybe Tank doesn't want to do that because he probably knows like, oh, it's an easy fight for me, and he wants like Ryan, he wants one of those names. But I think his promotion, his managers are like, I love that. Yeah, let's make that happen again because they feel confident Tank's going to win, and they think that they could sell this to casual fans that it's a competitive fight, but it's not really a competitive fight. It's just that's the truth of it. It's not going to be a competitive fight
I'm
unless
just saying,
Tank breaks his hand again.
I'm just saying Tank just went and said that he should fight Rolly. So I'm saying you're saying that he's confident, but I don't know if you're saying that if he's saying because it didn't sound like he was confident. That
Well, I'm not. I said his promotion is. I think he wants
you're
Ryan.
saying it's not coming. I think that's a much easier fight because Ryan the mistakes Ryan leaves, but like you said, we'll see what happens. I don't think the Cruz rematch happens though.
Yeah, I don't think that it did, dude. Like at all.
Who would you pick, Ryan or Cruz?
Ryan.
That's why I would put it, but I'm just curious what Polo thinks.
I'm sorry, but you guys are. I like Ryan, but bro, he leaves his chin in the air, and I've never seen like, bro. I feel like if he gets pressured, I can see him folding. But I like Ryan because it's really hard to pick a winner because Ryan does a lot of mistakes, but then again, that speed. So let me see him one more fight, and I'll say. But I think Cruz for now because Ryan doesn't really like. Yeah, the Fortuna win was it was good, but I want to see him in there with another performance like that.
I'll tell you right now, I don't think it's hard to pick. I think Ryan would win that fight, and I think he'd win it handily.
It's hard. It's hard for Polo to pick somebody who's more. He's picking the guy who's more.
Stop it, Broadway! Stop that! You
come on, man.
Broadway! You're just trying to so that Fortuna loss doesn't look bad that he lost to Ryan. I'm just saying I like Ryan, but bro, he wasn't looking good in that to-go fight, and Luke Campbell, like, I didn't forget,
To-go came to run.
Bro, Luke Campbell dropped him, fam. Luke Campbell dropped him.
But that one moment, though, for some reason, how is that, like, that one moment, right, has somehow, like, made Ryan Garcia completely vulnerable, right? Just that one moment. But if you think about it, he's been dominant in all his performances, basically, right? He's been dominant in all his performances.
Yeah.
And even in that
Polo's
fight...
right, but Ezra, Polo's right. Like, Ryan ain't fighting nobody. He ain't fought nobody, and then he's looked shaky, and he's been dropped. But
okay,
but I'll keep it a buck, though.
He hasn't really looked shaky. That's not true, though. He got dropped once.
But I'll keep it a buck, man.
Go ahead.
Okay. I'll keep it a buck, though. Look, man, dude's American. He can fight. He's fought all the styles. He's got real power. He's got a welterweight body right now. He's being backed by Golden Boy and such. But I think he can only fight a couple styles, which is coming forward.
I told Polo he's the face of boxing. He's the future face of boxing.
Not yet, but yes, in the future.
I would say Shakur, but yeah.
With 8 knockouts, nah.
I think
Shakur's on the way.
I think both could have an argument. I really do. I look at Shakur's numbers and look at like how it keeps increasing every time he fights. There is going to be a lot of buzz for Shakur if he keeps winning.
The face of boxing, though?
I think it could possibly. If he keeps winning and he's dominant, I think it really could. There's a possibility that, yes, he could be the face of boxing. He has to be dominant, though. And he would have to move to 135, and you possibly have to get to 140 and be a dominant like in those weight classes. But defensively, like a guy like that, because Shakur, the way he fights and style, like people are going to get frustrated and they're going to want to see someone beat him. So that'll cause a lot of people to watch him as well. That'll cause a lot of people to be like, oh, I want to see if someone could beat that style. That it just just depends how they promote him. But yeah, I don't think that's crazy to say either by Clever. Go ahead, Clever. My bad.
Oh, that was it. That
was
it. And then the old boy said what he said. But it's funny, man. When I think about Ryan right now, I mean, he's still not beating top echelon guys right now. So work in progress with that guy.
Well, I mean, who's top echelon though?
He's Go ahead, Polo.
Fortuna was a top 10 guy, so we can't act like. I mean, Fortuna, that was a good win. It's just that was his first. Luke Campbell.
No,
was
that
a top
guy
10.
was washed, dude.
Bro, he was
I was
washed.
washed, bro. Fortuna was top 10. Listen,
You were doing so good, man. Don't defend that. You were doing so good.
I'm gonna give. The thing is, Ryan needs to fight a contender. I'm just saying, like, let's not
for sure.
Because Tank's resume. I mean, Rolly Romero, like, did you see his amateur record, fam? Fucking got like. Let's chill out because Luke Campbell at that time was not washed, and Fortuna. Let's see what happens because what if he keeps fighting and maybe he has a.
Yeah, I don't want to say Fortuna's washed either. I think that
Fortuna was a top 10 win though. He was ranked like dog just because he lost.
Fortuna was just tough in with JoJo Diaz. Like I can't say he was washed.
Yeah.
I think that.
Hold on. Y'all talking about Dominicans, so I need to talk. Javier Fortuna. The fight was at 140, correct?
Yes.
Right.
All right,
Yeah.
so I have my inside sources. It was Fortuna who requested 140. He came into camp. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to say it anyways because I fuck with you, Ezra. He came into camp at 185 pounds.
Dear God.
So his trainer, Cole Sampson, and I'm giving you exclusives right now. It was like, yo, bro, the fight got to be at 140. Yo, he's not going to make 135. So that's why the fight is. So he came into camp out of shape. And then he looked soft. His belly, like, you're not going to tell me that he looked in shape. He wasn't six-packed up. He came in out of shape. The fight was on 40 because Fortuna requested it. And he got knocked out. And I'm not, like, it's not that Fortuna's a bad fighter. I don't think anybody here would say that. But when, like, it clearly that wasn't the Fortuna that fought, you know, I'm trying to think who he fought, you know, Cuellar. You know, that's not the same Fortuna.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, question I have, though. So if he comes in shape in that fight, right, do you think that anything changes, right? Because he really just couldn't get past the distance and the power and the speed. And it kind of just reacted the way reacted the way a lot of guys react to Ryan at this point, where they get in there and they see the speed and the power, and he just kind of like, kind of want nothing to do with that. So do you think anything changes if let's say he comes in shape, 135, makes 135?
No, but I would give him more. I would give what's his name more credit because like Polo said, he's a top 10. He was a top 10 lightweight at the time.
He was, and like you said, Georgia fight was competitive. Georgia just edged it out, but like I said, he should still, whether or not because it's not really on him. We could say it because 1 year, like could make a difference, but come on, bro, it's not gonna make like a huge. With Georgia, he looked, but with Georgia was smaller. He could have, he was more open to hitting him. With Ryan, it was that reach and that speed that he couldn't get past through. So I would like to see Ryan against another top 10 opponent that he could get in there with, like a JoJo, or I always wanted to see that Linares fight because that would have been, the name. But at this point, Linares, but years ago. How about you think of Mars fight? What do you think of Amner Mars fight? You think that's going backwards?
I mean, we can talk about Mars, but that'd be terrible. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Isak Cruz gets Mars next. I'll be honest with you, the way they match him up. But
no, he's smart. No, Maris is just having fun, man. He was having a field
Maris
day.
just trying to get. Yeah, he's just trying. I'm just saying, like a name like that. Like I wouldn't be surprised if fuck around and Leo Santa Cruz versus Ryan at one point.
Oh, that'd be a huge big difference. But do anyone have faith that Tank versus Ryan is next?
No. And I'll tell you why. Because, well, first off, Leonard came in and told us, dropped the nugget and said that's next. I believe that, and I'm with that, and that's encourageable, and that's very probable. The only way that happens, gentlemen, I've been saying this this will be the third stream I've said it now, is if Oscar De La Hoya gives the green light and gives him the green light to come over to Showtime. Because if that's a no, then no, we're not getting that fight because there's no co-promotional. There's no him going over there. No, like this is the big time now. And again, if Oscar gives the green light, yes. But if he says no, no. All this other stuff is fluff and bluffing and just talk, man. You guys know how pay-per-view goes. Come on now.
What do you think, Frank? You think that Garcia Tank's next?
According to somebody, they're saying they have good sources. It's done already. So, I mean, yeah, I'm more believing than not.
The problem I have is that De La Hoya just said, I'm waiting for Tank's promoters to call me.
That
and he
part
said
too.
that he said that like this weekend. So the problem I have is it had so much momentum, right? And I never believed it was going to happen. But then when Ryan and Tank were going back and forth, and Tank said you
Yeah.
agree to everything, and I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, I don't understand how this would happen, but maybe it could happen. But then Ryan, De La Hoya right after says, he tweeted, I'm waiting for Tank's promoters to call me. And that right there just 100% confirmed that fight is not happening. There's no chance it's happening next. And we'll probably see
December
Ryan.
17th. December 17th is his date, though. From December 17th, that's the date I think he's coming back, and there's a money line. So I can see it happening.
Who's coming back?
Tank. That's Tank's fight day, December 17th.
You would have to think
you guys got these dates, man. That's hilarious.
I would have to think that Tank comes back and it's not Ryan, it's Michelle Rivera or Esau Cruz.
Clever. It's December 17th. Watch when he gets announced. It's December 17th. You'll be like, damn, you were right. It's gonna be December 17th. Watch.
For sure, man. For sure.
Broadway. Any news on Michelle Rivera and anything of being Tank next? Is he in the running? Is there anything?
I have not spoken to Michelle Rivera. Me and him, I want to say out of all the like top Dominicans, that's probably the one I have the least relationship with. Not that we have a problem with each other. It's just like, he's a gym rat. So getting him on the phone is a bit difficult. But as far as to answer your question, no, I have no info on him. But as far as Ryan Tank, I just have a tough. I'm a jaded boxing fan. I have a tough time working out this easy and the fight happening so smooth. Considering they're both on different networks now, if Golden Boy was also on Showtime along with PBC, I would be a lot more open minded. Especially the engagement they had that little back and forth they had on Twitter, but. Just considering the landscape of boxing and the cross the street bullshit, I don't see that happening next. I don't see that Ryan Garcia leaves Golden Boy.
Yeah, I don't see it happening either. But let's see. I mean, I guess we got to see how it plays out. But the thing is, that what's curious is that and I see Jake Donovan say that the Munguia versus Ryder is supposed to be next, but DAZN hasn't confirmed that they're going to pay for it, right? So that's kind of interesting. That if DAZN's kind of like being a little tight with Golden Boy right now. So let's see how that plays out with that relationship. But I just can't think Golden Boy would do that to DAZN, would take Ryan out of there, which is basically their only star, and then hurt that relationship with basically the only network that wants to put them on TV. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I can see
unless he can convince them that, hey, this is a risk, a high reward. Yeah. He knocks this guy. Let's say he knocks out Gervonta Davis, like knocks him out cold, which he has the ability to. Now he's bringing back to the zone as a super duper star. So there is a risk, but honestly, like taking a gamble that good is not a bad idea.
I really don't know if Ryan doesn't get this fight. I don't know who he fights. I can't think of any names. I can't think of because remember Jojo Diaz and Cepeda are fighting each other already. Yeah. So I don't know who they can match him up with in December. That would make sense if it's not Tank.
Oh no, Maxie Hughes got a fight already.
Maxie Hughes got a fight. That's what I'm saying. He really doesn't have any other options.
Don't get a name, bro. I gotta look at the rankings, but bro, he'll fight another he'll be a good opponent. Like I think his momentum is back, so I think he'll fight another top 10 opponent. They'll get somebody, bro. I don't know where.
Will it be at $140?
He's not going to fight. It'll be at $140. He won't fight a guy that's 140 pounds. He's going to fight a 135er and bring him up to 140.
So what if he fight? What if he fights Sandor Martin?
He's not going to fight Sandor Martin. That's what everybody's saying. He's not going to fight Sandor Martin. That's too dangerous to fight.
Bro, stop that. You're because he beat
Martin.
I like.
Come on, bro. Stop that.
Right. Ryan, bro, I like Martin, but if Ryan catches that, they'll knock him out.
High risk, low reward though. But no one knows who Sandor Martin is. Like he beat Mike Garcia. No one even knows that. So they're not going to put him in there. Like if he wins that fight, it really does nothing for him.
What do you mean? Ever since he beat Mike Garcia, have you seen the numbers he does when he fought on the zone in that stand card? He got named.
No one knows the numbers. No one knows the zone.
Well, I was gonna say, what numbers are you talking about?
No,
how about Richard Coleman?
Comey, I think Top Rank's going to keep him. They're going to do something with him. Maybe Barbosa. I think they'll keep him.
Nah, he'll fight at 140, guy, and people are gonna move the goalposts and say, "Nah, I think he'll get a good nick at 140." Watch.
I don't know.
Who's
That'd be
breathing
interesting.
hard? Yo, who keeps breathing hard as fuck?
I think that's clever.
That's definitely
Yo,
clever.
man, you about to have a.
Clever watch Sarah J or some shit right there.
There is a fight we got to get to. And we have Broadway here. We have Polo here. And that is, let me pull up the right picture. That is Santos versus Rayo.
Why don't you show the one where he knocked out his tooth?
This is the first picture I come up with, but this is right here. Wait, first of all, Broadway, is Dos Santos or Los Santos?
De Los Santos.
De Los Santos. Oh, that's even more confusing.
Yeah.
But okay, but Santos gets a massive upset against Rayo. Stops him. You don't think it's massive?
No,
I think it's
not massive. It's not main event massive. It's an undercard fight, you know?
No,
I think it's massive.
I think
you
it's
think
massive.
so? No, but here's the thing though. A lot of people, Broadway, shout out to Broadway, he did his thing. He did call. That's why when I tell you say when I tell you this fight would happen, that's why you shouldn't be edge or be like, oh no, there's no way he's gonna beat him because we just saw clearly nobody was really picking the Los Santos to win. Everybody thought Rayo, and it's because like bro, he was looking good. Like I think it's an upset, massive upset. I don't know because they were both content. Like Rayo's not as proven as like say like if Tank or Haney or T or those guys like Lomachenko. If those guys lose to like,
tell you why this is a massive upset.
Go ahead, Broadway. Go ahead.
We I don't know if Ezra was on, but Steven Espinoza was on a space with us. I asked him, who is your biggest prospect that you are highest on? And obviously he's gonna say a PBC guy. And he said, man, I'm sure you guys are aware of Rayo Valenzuela. This was like on a Friday. He fights on Sunday, this, that, and the third. And I told him, yeah, he's getting knocked out this Sunday. And he knew who I was as far as the voice of Dominican boxing. He just kind of laughed at, we'll see. I'm like, no, he's getting knocked out. So now you got the head of Showtime. His number one prospect just got wrecked, destroyed, spanked easily in 3 rounds. You don't think now he's going to be a little bit more focused? Who the fuck is this De Los Santos kid?
Yeah,
I get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think it's
I get what you're
perfect
saying.
explanation of it because you got to think of what they were building with Rayo and the what people thought of Rayo. It's definitely a massive upset because no one knew who De Los Santos was besides really Broadway and whoever seen him on the Showtime card, right? But that's it. Like no one was really familiar with him. No one was going in being like, "Oh, De Los Santos is a prospect." Honestly, I think he lost everything. That was his chance was on that Showtime card, and he lost that fight. I think that was like, "Oh crap!" Like this is a giant blow to. Him being a prospect or Showtime taking him seriously, and this was just like an amazing opportunity that came about. But yeah, I think it is a massive upset, and it's going to change his whole career.
Yep, totally agree.
Definitely, I'm like you said, the Los Santos. I've seen him, and I knew he had power, but just something, I don't know, man. Because his fight with Foster, he did not look good in the mistakes he's made, and I just thought like Ryan was, but it's credit to him. Hopefully, the Los Santos. Or something, man. I don't want to hear that. Oh, next fight he loses to somebody he's not supposed to, bro. So if you talk to him, make sure he takes advantage of it because I don't want to see him turn into Fortuna 2.0.
You just trying to throw a shot because you can't say nothing about your Rayo.
Hey, stop it! Hey, stop it! Let me not bring Rodriguez and Adames and. Stop that.
Okay. All right. How about this? Hold on. We about to go viral. Elvis. Stop 1 second. We about to go viral. How much you want to bet? Look, Carlos Adames is Dominican. He's fighting Juan Montiel, who's Mexican. What do you want to bet?
Bro, I'm not betting because Montiel has 5 dollars. Listen. Tell the people. Okay, listen. If he's that, tell the people what Montiel's record is and who he's lost to, and that's who Adames is fighting. And tell the people that he lost to Patrick Teixeira, a guy that was supposed to be a Miguel Cotto opponent that got knocked out by Curtis.
There you go. He lost to Patrick Teixeira. Who the fuck is Patrick Teixeira? So let's make a bet.
Bro, Montiel has 5 losses.
Just bet him $5, Polo. Just bet him $5.
I'll bet you 20. But
just bet him $5.
Nah, 20, bro.
Hold on.
I'm just saying, Montiel has 5 losses. Montiel
I
had
got
5 losses.
Carlos Adames. Hold on, and this is recorded. I got Carlos Adames.
I'm just saying, bro. You're gonna
got
celebrate.
Montiel.
Listen, you're gonna celebrate Adames beating Montiel. That just shows you that shit's low. Because, bro, of course he should cook.
Well, you won't let me celebrate De Los Santos beating Rayo.
I'm giving you, bro. I'm giving you. Listen, I'm giving you full credit. I'm saying it's just like, okay, you picked him. I'm just saying, like,
giving him full credit.
He carried.
Polo.
What is the next potential Dominican versus Mexican matchup?
I mean,
isn't this it?
That would be one. That's one for sure. But I'm trying to think
one
like
that's already set.
What about Gutierrez?
When is that?
I'm not Gutierrez. Garcia, Hector Garcia. Who's he gonna fight next? What's his potential?
He's probably gonna fight Lamont Roach. But look, hold on.
That's a tough fight. That's a damn tough fight.
Michelle Rivera versus Isak Cruz, or De Los Santos versus Isak Cruz is probably like something where
that's probably next.
That's probably next in some way. Not maybe not next, but maybe in the near future. So there you go.
Cruz versus Michelle Rivera. Who would you lean towards?
I think Michelle Rivera because of size. I think he got that jab, the size, but he is a bit chinny though. That's one thing. But I think right now I will give the edge to Michelle Rivera because of size. But man, if he ever gets dropped again, or he shows that his chin is, then I would say Cruz. But right now I would have to say Rivera because that reach, that jab.
This is the most reasonable I've ever seen Polo be. On a
what
podcast.
are you talking about, bro?
No, I'm just saying it's good. It's a compliment. It's a compliment. You're being reasonable.
See Broadway be going over, bro. Like next thing,
have you ever heard me be unreasonably positive on a
bro?
No. I think he's been reasonable.
You talking? You said that
humble pie
Rivera could beat. Hey, next thing you know, he's gonna start saying George Arias could beat Tyson Fury. Man, Broadway is out of control. We gotta calm him down.
No, I'm not you, bro. I'm not you. I didn't pick Oscar Valdez to beat Shakur Stevenson.
Bro, I think he had a chance. Listen, fam. I picked upset. Hey, I got proof when I told people.
You picked the upset. You were wrong. I picked an upset of this past Sunday, and I was right.
Yeah.
So. I mean,
yeah, bro.
Obviously, listen. You gotta be subscribed. You gotta watch my videos. You gotta learn, bro, and you will be making better picks. Don't worry,
bro. I like I said, I've got plenty of picks right, and you got it, and you got some wrong. So let's chill out for a little bit.
All I'm saying is,
wait. I got a bet. So you guys did this all wrong. Let's pick like 8 fights, right? We'll pick 8 fights. Broadway makes his choice, doesn't say anything. Polo will make his choice, he'll DM me. You guys both DM me. And we'll see who gets more right out of those 8 fights. We'll pick 8 fights. I'll pick them. And then that's what you guys bet on. You guys bet $20 on that. You guys in on that? So that's
I'm down. I'm done.
I'm down. Why not expand it to everybody else in the panel?
All right. If you guys want in too, I mean, I'm just saying.
No. Let's do it private so we can show them the
because I feel like Polo and you are both arguing on who makes better choices here as far as fights. So I do kind of want to wrestle with
Rayo and I
okay. Like I said, we could do it.
But I picked the fights though. I picked the fights you guys choose.
Yes.
Okay. Well, then we got it.
Wait a minute. Wait. I just want to make one thing clear. Polo picked Ocampo to beat Fundora. I
said he has a chance. I said he has a chance. Hey, like I said, Broadway.
So what's your official pick? Wait. But Polo, you did pick. What was the one you picked? You picked Soromacai versus Bam. You did pick. I did remember you saying.
Yes,
that.
I did too.
I did too.
Yeah, I did too. I was so wrong.
No, but you gotta understand that Cesar was a puncher in the division like. That's I don't want to say because bro, SSR still had a pop and it showed that even though he's a bit older, that's like a pick because there's picks that you could kind of see like where the fighter is, or you could kind of see where who's gonna win because but that was that fight where he could have really lost but he showed out. So an example like Tyson Fury versus Dylan White, we know what was gonna happen. Like Tyson Fury was gonna knock. That's a fight where 95%, dude. How it went down.
Didn't you pick Broly?
Hell no. Who the fuck? No, I never picked Broly, bro. Stop that.
I picked Broly. No,
I said Broly.
Frank, you
Well, I
picked
wanted
Rolly.
Rolly to win.
Y'all,
Nah, I just wanted him to win.
looking like Ryan Garcia at the end of
Nah,
that.
I just wanted him to win, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, he was a funny guy. I said that he'll probably win some rounds and maybe make it look good, and boy, was I right. But other than that,
Dude's biggest moment is a loss.
Now, you know what, man? I just believed in his power. I thought his power was real and it was going to be a problem for Tank Davis.
but here's the
Ezra,
thing, though. You could lose
you-
the decision, but when,
damn, Polo, chill. Let me ask Ezra a question. This is his show. So what do you think you asked me about Michelle Rivera earlier? What do you think of who I want Michelle Rivera to fight next? Because they're both on the same timeline. Is Rolly Romero, and if they make that Tank Ryan fight, I want that to be on the undercard. I want to know what you think about the fight, and two, what do you think about my idea of that fight being on the undercard?
So I think that fight in the undercard is really good because I think one thing Michelle Rivera needs is more promotion. He needs more attention, and I think if he got a win against Rolly Romero, who is, of course, he's gonna draw attention. Rolly, I think people are really interested to see. For some reason, people are really interested to see what Rolly does, and I think that if Michelle Rivera beat him, that'd be perfect for his career. Now, what was the first one? What was the first part again of that? The matchup versus Tank?
No. Who would you favor in Michelle Rivera versus Rolly?
Oh, I favor Michelle Rivera. I favor him. I favor him. I think that if you can box, like I've seen Rolly get outboxed by Martinez, who Martinez looked all right too against Frank Martin. He looked all right in that fight. He looked capable. But I've seen him get outboxed, and I know what Michelle Rivera could do when fight a distance. I think he would really frustrate Rolly Romero. So I really like that matchup.
Why are we waiting so Rolly so high? Then this is bro.
No, he's not rated high. He's just kind of a name now. He's just kind of a name. It's not he's rated so high. He's just kind of a name now. He made himself a name.
Really. Listen, he got a box with Jackson Martinez, and what happened to Jackson Martinez's next fight?
Yeah, he got smoked by Comey.
Did you watch the fight? Like he didn't really look good in that fight. How he looked against Rolly, he didn't look like that nowhere near. So I'm saying that was a bad look on Rolly. That if he got a box.
Okay, well, Polo, did you ever think Mayorga was a top contender in when he was fighting? After he lost, after he got outboxed by Spinks, would you ever think he was a top contender?
I mean, bro, he came to fight. Like you could see he had.
That's what I'm saying. So that's Rolly. He comes to fight.
Rolly, but he does bro. That's disrespectful. He's nowhere near my fan.
Honestly, Mayorga was never really a high level fighter. I mean, honestly, he had a good matchup with Vernon Forrest, who Vernon Forrest, if we're being honest, wasn't really a proven guy either. He kind of had a good matchup against Shane Mosley. So that's why Mayorga was a name. No one would know who he was, and he got main events after main event after main event. He got pay-per-views with Felix Trinidad. He got pay-per-views with Vargas. He got pay-per-views with De La Hoya.
You must have stole that take from me because I said that way back.
Yeah. He was never proven. He was never a proven guy. He was a name in the division. That's what Rolly is. He's a name in the division.
That's
and
what
all
I
these
think
guys probably
too.
want him. Of course, everybody wants him. That's why Rob was correct. If they put him in with Rolly, that it would be really a very good matchup for Michelle Rivera because it's a matchup that he should win and it's going to bring a lot of attention to his career. But Rolly Romero, no one's saying like, oh, this guy's going to compete now. I did like some of the stuff he did versus Tank, but a lot of guys do good stuff early versus Tank. That's just the way Tank fights. But I'm just saying though that there was enough there to be like, okay, I want to see him fight someone else credible, and he's a name now. That's it. That's all it is.
I'm just saying, like guy got knocked out. Let's remember that. Like if you went the distance, okay, maybe, but it's like I feel like this point, Michelle Rivera should fight like obviously this like a Giselle Corrales type of level. Even though like we know what happened, like I feel like he maybe a De Los Angeles, like something a rival fight wouldn't have been bad. I think he should start fighting contenders like Rolly. He's coming off a loss. Maybe later on, like we gotta see what Rolly had. Like Rolly has to climb back to.
But Jezreel Corrales brings no name value to Michelle Rivera.
No,
zero. No, he brings zero name
value. But a former world champion. I don't understand, man.
Yeah,
that's what you guys have for these guys. You want Rolly that got knocked out by Tank just so Michelle Rivera.
Yeah, but people at least know who Rolly is.
Bro, he's not gonna do anything. He just beat Rolly, bro. The same guy that got a gift 2 years ago. Like, it really doesn't do anything.
Michelle Rivera is already on the cusp of getting a Tank fight, right? He's already on the cusp of it. So, he doesn't need another win to solidify, to get that shot. What he needs is another win that's going to bring name value to him, right? That's going to say, I can now bring attention to this fight. That's what Rolly offers.
It's the name value. We're talking about name value. So like when Edgar Berlanga takes his loss, he's still gonna have a name and he'll be valued to an up and comer.
Why were people still knocking out guys that were on the Contender show, right? Why was Peter Manfredo or Manfredi or Alfonso Gomez or Lance? Why were they still getting fights on HBO?
K9 Bundridge.
Yeah,
because they had name later on.
Exactly, because they had name value. Because people could reference that show and be like, "Oh, I remember this guy," and put him on there. Right, Alfonso Gomez was getting a bunch of opportunities, but why? Because he brought name value. So they would bring a guy in that's a prospect or maybe a pro coming back that needs a tune-up, and he fight this guy that has some kind of name value. He beats that guy, and that's all it is. That's what Rolly is. Now, could Rolly maybe surprise us? Maybe, possibly. He's considered a contender. Yeah, he just fought for the title. He just fought one of the number one guys in the division. So yeah, he's a contender. It makes perfect sense to me to fight Michel Rivera.
That's what I think of Blair Cobb now. That's Blair Cobb and Rolly the same dudes.
Exactly. Blair Cobb has some recognition.
But I have a question. He beat Hooker though. Like that was a former world champion, and Hooker he was not favored in that fight. But I think Rolly should fight him. Rolly coming off a win, not coming off a loss, because like that was a knockout. I feel like
honestly, why does that matter though? To be honest, though, like, why does it matter if a win or loss? So if if Rolly goes and beats a guy like Yijit or Sparrow again, are you going to be like, okay, I want to see this now? No, you know what I mean. So you
should fight another tough fight. That makes no sense. So he's gonna get credit.
But what's the difference? So for what you're saying though, right, is you want to see him coming off a win. But what momentum if he beats another low level guy? There's no momentum. That's not the case.
Polo, you're talking about the sport of boxing, and we're talking about the entertainment business part of boxing. Like the sport is one thing, and then the business entertainment is another.
But even the sport of it, I don't understand why Rolly beating a low level guy makes him a better win. It doesn't. He's still the same level until he beats a guy that's only way he can go and increase is by beating a top contender or a champion, right? So if he fights Michel Rivera, there's his chance. But him beating another Sparrow does nothing for Michel Rivera. Oh, he just Rolly coming off a win. It's beating a low level guy is not like
bro. I don't understand. Like, bro, they're not gonna make that fight coming off a loss. When have you seen because bro, it doesn't happen. When have you seen that? When what's that example that Lubin guy lost against Charlo? Did he go and say, "Oh, I'm gonna fight J-Rock. I'm gonna fight"?
Bro, you acting like he's getting a title shot.
Yeah, that's what I don't get.
Like Michel Rivera is not a champion. You act like, oh, why? It's a disgrace he would fight him coming off a loss. Like he's getting a title shot. He's fighting another top contender. That's it.
Wait, Michel Rivera is close.
Okay, wait. What about What about Marines versus versus Comey? He was coming off a loss to Rolly Romero.
But that was a close. That was arguably a fight that he won.
But he's still coming off a loss, though, right? He's still coming off a loss, though.
Bro, we can't compare it to a loss to someone getting knocked out. Like, come on. I'm just saying, he should fight. I'm just saying, like, if I'll fight try to get another former world champion in there, or somebody like to get the name up, even if
I just don't think it makes a difference. And I don't think really Romero thinks like that. I don't think he's thinking like, oh, I need to get a fight to get back in that mentality. I think he thinks he called out Earl Spence. This dude is not thinking like, oh yeah, I'm going to build myself back up. He's like, I want another top guy. And if they offer him Michel Rivera, I think that's a good fight for Michel Rivera. I think it's a good fight for him, honestly.
Broadway,
so what does Michel Rivera do after he beats Rolly though?
Wait, hang on.
Let Clever go.
Broadway, you there? I got a question for you, bud. Yeah. Can you hear me? Because I'm kind of got some choppy.
Yeah, we got you.
I'll answer before you ask me. Tank better stay away from Dominicans. But go ahead.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, brother. Because we're talking about Michel Rivera so much, and then, you know what? I remember that choppy interview you did with him, and I remember being surprised about his English and whatnot. But that was one of your first interviews, kind of when we first. I don't want to say when we first met, kind of when I first started paying attention to your channel. But my question is, when you did that interview with Samson, what did you get from him, kind of like how he promotes his guys? Like, I know, he promotes the top guy in a Benavidez or Fundora. You can clearly see his ascension right now, or just accelerating. But someone like Michel Rivera, because there's so much talk about him fighting a contender and just a name? How what do you think? Like, again, the question is like, what did you get from how he promotes his guys?
What I got from him, and I don't want to talk bad about the guy, but you asked me the question, so it's gonna come out.
One more thing too, probably. Like, yeah, see, I know, like you said, I don't want to say that, but just like you, since I've known you, you've always had a lot of questions for that guy. And I remember that one day. This is probably 500 plus days ago. Yeah, he hopped in that one session. It was the first time he hopped in, and like you got to speak with him. You were going at him. But yeah, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, well, one thing is when I came at him with my idea, because he promotes a lot of Dominicans. I think I counted, promotes 7. He promotes De Los Santos, who just got that win. He promotes, I think, 7 or 8 Dominicans. I could be wrong on the number, but it was somewhere like a high number. He's the promoter with the most Dominicans, with the exception of Dominican promoters themselves. He seemed very close-minded to my ideas that I had for him as far as promoting Dominicans. And the way he came across, like his promoting style is having good relationships, which he has a great relationship with Al Heyman. So putting his fighters on PBC events and putting his fighters on in position. Basically, he's like, I put my fighter in position to get a title shot, and just off of the popularity of boxing, he'll gain popularity. That's kind of like the gauge I got from him. I wish he was a little bit more open-minded when I was giving him my suggestions, but he's been in the sport for a while. I can see him looking at me like some YouTuber trying to educate him. As I can see why he looked down on that, but I just wish he was a little bit more open-minded.
He's an excellent talent scout. He's like one of the best talent scouts I've ever seen in boxing, if I'll be honest with you. He's one of the best talent scouts. He finds like the most hidden gems. I agree with you 100% Broadway though, like on his point of views of the matchups. And also, if you let him talk enough, he gets himself in trouble. Like I think he says a lot of stuff that he's not supposed to say.
Yeah.
Or to me, he says a lot of things where I'm like, why did you say that? Like that doesn't make you look good. Like he went on there and said basically, oh, well, DAZN pays too much. And it's like, well, if you're trying to get fighters, right, and you're going to say that, oh, DAZN pays too much. If I'm a fighter, I'm like, okay, well, they pay too much, so I want to go to them. They pay more. Like, that's really what it made it seem like, oh, we're going to pay less, but that's because DAZN pays too much. It's like, that's not a good argument. That's
my favorite one. My favorite one, when they were asking why didn't David Benavidez go to Top Rank and fight Gilberto? Oh, my fighters don't go to the WBO route. And there's a video. I'm going to send it to you. I'm going to tell you, if you believe in him today, it was easy work. When they asked him what's a potential unification, the look on your face should tell you everything you need to know. It's like, damn, Measure, you think this guy's not, but he didn't think that. He thought way differently. Like his his face was like he was all laughing, and then when he got serious, like. But and I was gonna add one more thing. He's the one that had that guy that just fought Cruz. That's his promoter. So I'm saying, whose idea was for him to go up and fight Cruz? Well, that's his promoter. So
yeah, I'm telling you, Ramirez better got a big payday for that fight. He better got a huge, massive payday for that.
That was like why did he go up and fight him? I thought it was a dumb match, but it's like either Zorito, like they believe in him, or I don't know what that was.
It had to have been a massive payday.
Like Broadway said, he goes off the popularity. Like, did he really think his guy was gonna beat Cruz? And maybe like, yo, that's the guy that outboxed him. But it's like, yeah, it seems like I can see where he goes from that. That he throws it on based on like gets a fighter a big fight, and if they win, they win. Like Sergio Martinez as an example. Remember him? How he got those? Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
So do we think? Kind of more still of a question for Broadway. Do we think he's moving Michelle Rivera to that not championship, but a title shot?
I mean, he has him in position. He's one of the names that are possibly going to fight Tank. So that's the thing.
Tank's just the regular champion, though.
I mean,
if you beat Tank, you're in better position of getting a title shot. You get the regular champion petitions
and the name.
I want to
and a payday
belt. You can get creative with it.
If you beat Tank, you might be the guy at 135. I mean, that's just the honest truth.
Yo, Broadway, an example. Look what he did with De Los Santos. I'm pretty sure.
Indeed, Ezra. Indeed.
He threw his name in the bucket for him to replace. So him getting De Los Santos, that was a Fortuna got like that too when he was pulling
that's what I'm
upsets.
saying. It's ironic because like he's the promoter, but if you can promote yourself, he'll put you in position. He'll put you in position to get money. It's just a matter of do you have enough interest of what you do in the ring as well as whatever outside the ring. Are you as charismatic? But like that's why Michelle Rivera, they kind of PBC gave him that Muhammad Ali shtick. It's kind of like, we kind of don't know how to promote you, although you speak English. You know what? You kind of look like Muhammad Ali. Let's cut your hair like him. Let's put you in these trunks and call you the Dominican Ali. And that they're trying to get creative with promoting him. But that was on PBC. Samson is just a guy that's going to put you in position. And if you win, he's going to keep putting you in position. He has relationship with the sanctioning bodies and with Al Heyman and with Showtime. It's like he's well connected. But as far as promoting, he'll go on these talk shows. Like he went on my show, talking about all these fighters. So like that's the way he went about it. He goes on the Boxing Voice often. But as far as like getting creative, but to be fair, I don't want to be too hard on him. Not many other promoters right now really know how to promote.
To be honest,
it's true.
And Broadway, what's up with Top Rank? Does he not have a good? Because he doesn't go through the WBO route, and I did do some research. Holy shit, he's actually turned. Yeah, he don't
fuck with Top Rank.
Yeah, because think about it though. Like, okay, he's with PBC, right? He's well connected with them and everything like that. And look at Ryle needs a replacement fight, automatically goes to his guy, and it's a tough guy that he goes to. You know what I mean? Like that's because he does business with them consistently, and they trust him, and they trust what he brings to the table. So why would he go anywhere else? He could bring all his guys up the correct route with good TV time, good opportunities, and yeah, I tell you, his best thing is he's a scout. He's the best scout in boxing.
But you don't think him opening his doors would open to? I mean, like example, Sanford and Metzko, they do business with every Matchroom, Golden Boy, Top Rank, PBC. You don't think him?
Sometimes you find something that works, you just keep going with it. And he's
you think so?
Yeah, if you have it works, and he's with a major promotion, and I think they with the major promotion, and they're doing they treat his fighters right. They give them good opportunities. Why would you go anywhere else? It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, he's
the biggest entity. They're bigger than Top Rank and they're bigger than Matchroom to me.
I don't know if they're bigger than Top Rank.
PBC?
Well, who Top Rank got that they're putting on pay-per-view?
That's the thing that they can't build. Top Rank can't build stars, but they I think they have the biggest network deal, and it's by like a wide margin.
No. Oh, okay. See, I wasn't debating that. I was debating as to who has the best stable.
No.
Stable.
Yeah, you're right.
Both
financially, you're right.
You're talking about financially? I mean, so Matchroom, bro, like they have Joshua, Canelo, that Japanese guy, Triple G fight. Like you should see what their numbers are. So I'm saying you talking about money?
Matchroom. What are you talking about, Doug?
Wait, what are you talking about? Wait, who is he with? He literally fought on the Zone.
With a Japanese fight. He's with a Japanese promoter.
I've seen him fight on the Zone a couple of times. He's fought on the
Zone. He fought on ESPN too. He fought on ESPN.
He fought
Rob Brand on ESPN.
Yeah. What are those numbers though, Polo, you're talking about?
I'm talking about he does pay-per-view, whatever they got there. Joshua's not the pay-per-view. I'm just saying Matchroom has Joshua and Canelo. I mean, that's pretty much
yeah, but I get what I get what he's talking about like major promotion and like attention too. Like I agree. I get what you're saying.
If you name off Matchroom's top 20 roster and you name off top 20 roster of PBC, I guarantee you there's more pound for pound fighters, there's more champions on the PBC side. And that's not like, and I don't have a dog in the race. Like it's just I have eyes. Like they got Spence, they got Tank, they got the Charlo brothers, they got like Plant,
Fulton.
They got Fulton, they got a lot of guys on that side. Brandon Figueroa, Ray Vargas. There's a lot of guys from every division on the PBC side.
Every division?
Yeah, I think they have the best.
I say that loosely.
I think they have the best. They have the best American stable. I think that Top Rank has the best young, prospects. I think Top Rank has the best prospects, and I think Matchroom is, of course, just like the global brand. Like they're just gonna globally, they're gonna look to take over.
Okay, yeah, I think they all have like obviously they're still because there's some some that have guys in other divisions that the other ones don't. So I think I don't really look into it, but I if you look at American, probably PBC because Matchroom is international, so they have fighters from all over that they have.
What Matchroom has kind of become is more just like
Wait, hang on, Ezra. American boxing is international boxing. Like everyone fights the American. No, yes. Even growing up, ranks the nationals, the Golden Gloves, and then who you think they're fighting in all these tournaments? No, I'm just saying like overall, since we want to generalize, like that statement, I challenge that. Like
what I'm saying
American boxing is
I'm saying like
I know what you mean too.
They have events in Europe. They have events and like if you look at PBC, they don't have any events in Europe. They're never going to have events in Europe. They're never going to have events in another country. That's not what they're focused on. They're focused on American audience. Top Rank is mostly focused on American audience, with the exception if they can make a big fight somewhere else. But Matchroom is like they'll have fights in Italy, and I think that what Matchroom is really focusing on is they're trying to cut down on what they're paying, and they're trying to build like grassroots in Mexico, trying to build grassroots in Australia, grassroots in well, they already have Europe is huge already for them. That's like their biggest market. But
what was this?
Spain.
Yeah, what was the PBC fall schedule? Somebody kept telling me, "Oh,
it's coming."
It's still coming. Okay,
but I think it's gonna be strong. I mean, honestly, I think it's gonna be really strong.
No, there's no.
But the winter, November and December are gonna be fucking crazy.
Yeah. I mean, we really can't complain. We really can't complain about
dark in September, right?
If boxing goes dark from this point forward, I mean, you can't complain about this year. It's been one of the best years of boxing. So, like, even if boxing goes dark, no more fights going forward this year. This year's solid. Fights. This year's already solid.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say there's fights right now. PBC doesn't have any events going on right now for the month of September, but there's fights going on right now. Like, I don't think it's just PBC doesn't have events right now. They will in October.
No, they're gonna announce them, and it's gonna be solid. It's gonna be strong. But I don't know. I think that if you're Samson, I don't know why you would mess with what works. And he's got a lot of guys coming up. Like look at Fundora.
Yeah,
and he got to bring Fedora along the way he wanted to. And then he got to bring him up when he wanted to. He got him against Gallimore, which a lot of people thought that was a risky thing, and he was like, "Nah, he's ready."
Look, he has Fundora, he has Benavidez, he has De Los Santos who's coming off a big win. This is a Dominican prospect you guys need to watch out for. Luis Reynaldo Nunez. He's beaten, I think, 3 undefeated fighters in a row, if I'm not mistaken. That's somebody else you got to look out for. That's on the Samson stable. He got guys, and he's always good. His biggest advantage is his connections and his eye for talent. He has those two things, and he puts his fighters in position and hopes one of them, has the charisma or has the talent to captivate the audience's eye.
Yeah, and he's pretty good at that. He's pretty good, and honestly, too, like even if like you don't have the charisma, but you're just skilled, he's gonna put you in the best spots to. Keep winning, and it might match you tough for everything, but at least you can get opportunities. And you guys get opportunities from countries that usually, that no one's really looking for their prospects or to build stars. So, like, that's also where he's really good at. Like, he's the guy that discovered Pacquiao. He discovered Pacquiao. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know how old Sergio was when he discovered him. But when Sergio burst on the scene, he was. I think it was like 32 by the time he was really, he
had turned into something.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Like nobody would invest in a guy that old. But
did you see him when he was like in his 20s? He was raw as hell. He didn't look like he would never be anything. You'd be like, oh, no, this guy's way too raw.
He was terrible.
Got him a lineal middleweight championship.
Yeah, this dude spots talent like crazy.
Yeah, Golden Boy didn't want him, right? Wasn't he with Lou DiBella? Because I remember Golden Boy didn't want him, Top Rank didn't want him, and Lou DiBella had him, right?
Yeah, he had Lou. He was with Lou.
Yeah, Luz's promoter, but Samson was his advisor. But Samson was the one who discovered him. That's why I'm giving him the credit.
Yeah,
hell yeah, he got him.
Martinez didn't turn into anything until his late 30s. I mean, even like in his mid 30s, he lost to Kermit Cintron. Like, you know what I mean? Like
that was a bullshit. It was a draw, no?
Oh, draw or whatever. But I'm just saying he was compared to Kermit Cintron, and he wasn't like. It took a little while for him to turn into what he turned into, though. That's why he's like my main argument when people say like, "Oh, this is your prime." It's like these ages. It's like, dude, no, this dude was at his best in his late 30s.
Yeah, because after he lost to Margarito, he went away. Like he went to Spain and just fought there, and then he made like one fight here. He didn't look the best. I think his breakout was he beat Kelly Pavic. That's what his breakout. Because even in the fights before, he didn't.
Well,
look
Paul Williams, the first Paul Williams fight.
The first Paul Williams breakout.
It was after.
When he had a draw. Oh no, they gave it to Paul Williams.
They gave it to Paul Williams.
It was a close fight. I thought Martinez won. We actually rescored that fight. Remember, Ezra?
Yeah.
We all had Martinez winning, but like it was a close enough decision where Paul getting the decision.
It was okay for Paul getting it. Yeah.
Wait, him beating Kelly Pavic wasn't his bad. He literally beat the.
No, it was a huge. It was a huge win. But when he fought Paul Williams like that in that performance, like people knew he was legit. Like people knew he was there. Like he was a guy now, a contender at the weight division. And then he fought Paul Williams. Of course, gets hurt going into the Pavlik fight, so he replaces Paul Williams and then fights Pavlik. And yes, that's his biggest win. I give you that. But going into that fight, the reason why that fight was interesting is because he had that fight with Paul Williams beforehand.
Correct.
Yeah. Then he went on that run. Then he went then he had a good run that he had after that. So.
Yeah, and what I liked about Sergio, and maybe I'm misremembering, but he was kind of active. Am I misremembering?
No, he was super active. He was super active. Yeah,
he went.
He was one of my personal favorite fighters back when I was in college. Him, Mikey Garcia, and Gary Russell. Those were my three favorites back then.
You know why he was probably active too is because he was late in his career, and they were like, "You're barely getting to the point where you can start making some money. We got to start cashing this out." So he was fighting a bunch of crazy contenders from all over the place. Fighting guys from like Australia, England. Like he was fighting everyone. Like the Baker fight was made over Twitter. He's a guy called him out and said, "Hey, I'm with this guy over here," and he was like, "All right, let's hit up my promotion. Let's make it happen."
Darren Barker, you mean? Right?
Barker, yes.
Darren Barker, yeah, Darren Barker. He fought a lot of guys. He fought that one guy that was from Ukraine. He did go on the street.
Yeah, he fought the Zinzaruk.
Yep. Him. He fought. Man, I try to remember. Man, he fought like a lot of former world champions and guys.
He fought Matthew Macklin.
Yep.
Yeah, I actually thought him and Floyd were gonna fight at one time. I guess
I used to always talk about that too. I used to be like, I wonder if Floyd would fight him at 154. I used to always hope that would happen.
No,
he wouldn't. He wouldn't do that. It's too big, and I can't blame Floyd for not doing that.
No, I can't blame him for not taking that fight. But that would have been. I would have liked that matchup. I would have thought that would have been pretty interesting.
I would have picked Sergio just for size, and he was a slick southpaw who with power. It's just not because I think he's better than Floyd. I just think enough things in his favor. Yeah, nothing in his favor. Yeah.
Yes. And then it seems like it's not his prime, but it seems like that run he had after like it lasted 3 years because after the Chavez Jr. fight, he didn't really look good against Martin Murray.
He was ruined after Chavez Jr. That was it. Yeah. That 12th round cost him.
Yeah, and that was it.
You think he should have fought Triple G? Do you think they really wanted to fight Triple G? You think that they probably knew like?
No, Lou explained it. He said that the money was in the Cotto, the Cotto fight, and then he said if they would have got past that, they would have fought Triple G. But that the money was in the Cotto fight. It wasn't in the Triple G fight.
No, so but say he ended up like say he gets past Cotto like in a.
They say he would have fought Triple G. He said he would have fought Triple G because it wouldn't have been nowhere else to go.
So you really think you think that? So you think a Sergio Martinez like that would have fought?
How about a prime Sergio Martinez versus prime Triple G? Where you going with that, Ezra?
I think Martinez pulls it out. Honestly, I think Martinez pulls
Triple
it out.
G stops him. Come on,
I'm telling you, I think he pulls it out. I think Triple G has a problem with the movement. Honestly, I don't think he catches him. I really don't.
You act like Triple G don't box. People.
No. He's very good. I'm not saying that Triple G, but I'm just saying he's a little bit slow with his foot speed. I mean, let's just be honest. He's just a little bit slow with his foot speed.
But he can cut the ring off though.
He could, but remember, Martinez don't hit light either. He's not light.
Yeah,
Martinez can pop.
bro. But he ain't stopped, bro. I'm telling you, that jab and if Triple G lands like, bro, Triple G ain't no Chavez Jr. Triple G gets him hurt like that, he knocks him out. I got Triple.
Yeah, but I think Chavez
Stop
Jr.
him,
catches him
like,
because Chavez Jr. caught him basically towards the end, like the end of his prime. I think his prime ended in the middle of that fight. I personally
but and
think
Chavez
that.
Jr. was 3 times bigger than them. He was
I
like,
just gonna say, also,
one-
Chavez Jr.
one-
was 198 pounds. Probably.
jeez, he was. Look at that fight. Watch how big he is compared
Chavez
to
Jr. was a
cruiserweight.
freak at middleweight, like an absolute freak at middleweight. And I think that people forget how scary he was at middleweight. Like when he knocked out what's his name? Andy Lee. Like that was insane because Andy Lee was like a legit threat at that point. And he goes and just puts him to sleep. Like he was, I remember he was training at Wildcard. He was a freak of nature. Like the fact that he made middleweight was like insane. Yeah, I see him training all the time. And he,
So you think he was?
no, I never sparred him. No,
what did you hear? Did he hit hard? I mean, saying a lot of people.
Yeah, he was big. He was massive. He was massive. I'm telling you, he looked like Latif Coyote trained at Wildcard at the same time. He looked the same size as Latif Coyote. I swear, he was humongous guy. It was insane that he made middleweight.
Man, everybody, why do so many people disrespect Triple G? And you know, my favorite middleweight just since watching boxing was Kelly Pavlik. But I think Triple G stops Kelly. He stops Jermaine Taylor.
Yeah.
He stops Jermaine Taylor. He stops everybody, not Roy Jones. You know,
Sergio Martinez was very slick and smooth, and he could bang. He'll trade with you if necessary. And
I don't want to trade with Triple G
the right way. He'll knock you the fuck out.
It's not disrespect for Triple G. It's more respect towards Martinez. I really did because I'm really high. I'm really high on Triple G skill wise. Like I think ability wise, Triple G is one of the best. He just could never really prove it because he didn't have enough names at his time to fight. But yeah, Triple G is bad. Like he's one of the best. Against anyone, he's gonna be very tough. But I have really high on Martinez.
But I still can't pick though. That is a tough fight. Though.
It's a tough one.
I'm a Sergio Martinez fan, so I'm gonna always be biased.
But we're talking about middleweight though. What do you do at middleweight?
No, Martinez always works at middleweight.
Yeah,
always works at middleweight. Yeah, it's all at middleweight.
His big wins was at middleweight.
No. He was at 154. He caught a belt.
No.
Yeah, 160.
No. What was his big win?
His work was at middleweight. All his wins are at middleweight. Yeah, all his wins are at middleweight. All his good wins are at middleweight.
Paul wins was at 154, right? The first.
No. First one what? First one was at middleweight. It was at middleweight.
It was
at
middleweight.
No. The first one was at 154. Then they fought at middleweight.
Oh, it was at middleweight.
Yeah, let me look
it up.
Kelly Pavlik at middleweight. Kelly Pavlik pulled out to a staph injury, and then they stepped in. It was at 150. It was at 160, man. I think they both came in light, but the fight was middleweight.
It's at 160. It's at middleweight, and then when the second fight they come in at middleweight, but it's a catch weight. It's 158 for the second one. So it's middleweight, but catch weight 158.
There you go.
Which is interesting. I wonder why they agreed. I guess Martinez had more pull at that time and made it 158.
Yo, the one thing though, man, Triple G, I feel like he was I feel like he could have gotten the names, but then at one point when he started, getting the notoriety, I feel like he just got too comfortable. But that dude in his prime, I'm pretty sure a lot of people did not want to fight him. Could you imagine if he fought Taylor?
Peter Quillen, they want to fight.
Bro, could you imagine him fighting Taylor, bro? He would have. Oh man, he would have did Taylor so bad because Jermaine Taylor still became a champion. Remember Broadway, and then he dropped the belt because of what happened, bro. Triple G would have. Oh man, he would have done that dude so bad.
Jermaine Taylor was always chinny. I honestly don't think he was chinny. I just think that he would get hit so clean.
Punches.
Yeah, bro. I think he got broken. I think Pavlik broke him, and then I think that from that point maybe he was chinny after that point. But I think that when he was in his best, I don't think he was chinny. I thought he was just very raw. He was just winning on really just physical ability. I didn't think he was ever 100% like the most technical or the most skilled, but he was just so like physically gifted. It was just like hard.
I was never that high on him. I mean, I think he just caught Bernard at the right time, and he had a good win against Winky Wright. But other than that.
Yeah, that Winky Wright fight is underrated. It's a damn good fight.
I thought Winky beat him.
Actually, Broadway, add that to the list. Add that to the list.
Wasn't that a draw, right?
No, they gave it I thought they gave it a Jermaine.
Look it up. I thought it was a draw. Look up Jermaine Taylor, or was that Corey Spinks? There was a fight that Corey Spinks fought Taylor.
Yeah, he fought. I thought Corey Spinks won that fight, but
he definitely won that fight.
I'll take that one to my grave, but.
Yeah, look it up what they scored it because I remember.
No, you're right. Winky Wright's a draw, and then they didn't do the rematch.
I knew it. Yeah,
So,
they never did the rematch.
Crazy thing, because I was talking to, I think J-Ro was telling me about this, is that Winky Wright turned down like millions of dollars for that rematch of that fight, and he turned down millions of dollars to fight De La Hoya. Turned down both those fights.
Why?
That's pretty crazy. Because I don't know, he was waiting for bigger paydays. I think he thought, oh, he also turned down millions of dollars to fight Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah,
but that was gonna be at a catchweight. But that was at a catchweight, wasn't that?
Yeah, I was at 147, not even a catchweight. But Dan Rayfield used to always, anytime a person made a bad business decision,
called a Winky Wright.
He would say, "Oh, that guy must have went to the Winky Wright School of Business." Like he would completely always bring that up. How Winky Wright was a horrible business guy.
Oh, I'll tell you who's pretty bad. Shane Mosley. Was pretty bad. If you think everything that happens after De La Hoya makes 0 sense. If you look at his career after De La Hoya, it makes 0 sense.
And he's a horrible.
Okay, after De La Hoya, he goes back to fighting on HBO. Just average like name contenders, not stars, not big names, and he fights Vernon Forrest. Like, who was looking at this and being like, you just beat De La Hoya, let's fight Vernon Forrest now, who will give you no credit if you win. If you win this fight, no one's gonna be like, oh yeah, he beat Vernon Forrest, and he's gonna be very tough, and he's already worked you in the amateurs, and he's everything matchup wise that you wouldn't want to see: long, strong, big for the weight class, technical. And he does that disaster. Then he goes back, beats De La Hoya again. You know what he does? He fights Winky Wright, who no one wanted to fight at the time. And it wasn't a guy that it was tough. Everybody knew was tough, but was not getting the opportunity. He gives that guy a fight. And not only does he do that, but he rematches them both twice and gets beat down both twice.
But man, my guy wanted all the smoke. Here's the thing. I got another one for you, Broadway. And not business. This guy probably made money, but legacy-wise, you know who they're going to say? He went to the school of Demetrius Andre. That's what this is. That's the new. That's the new saying.
He's made some weird decisions. Like,
bro,
honestly,
he has money.
I've never, and like, I'll be honest. I've been watching boxing for a little bit. I never seen a case this bad, man. Like,
I said that earlier. Yeah,
he said that.
I've never seen this.
Listen. He has money, but he has no legacy.
34 and you never faced a former world champion, or a guy who's became a world champion. Like after he lost to you.
Nah, dog. Yeah, I get. No, let me just say this, and I'll let you go, Joe. It's just that he gets so much rep in the boxing community. People just always talking about him, say his name, and it's like, man, that's the weirdest shit I ever seen.
What I meant weird is like, how the fuck you a champion for so long in 2 divisions and beating absolutely nobody? Like, his legacy is trash.
Bro, the guy he beat at 160.
Hold on, Paul. Ty from Chicken Talk is a big Andre fan. I'm like,
huge.
How? Like, how could you be a fan of somebody who fights absolutely nobody his whole career?
I'm just glad because I've been saying this like for forever and getting yelled at on all these spaces about it. And now everybody's on my side. Like, everybody's saying what I'm saying. Will they come back and give me my credit though? No, of course not. But this is exactly what I said about
bro. You got your credit. It's just it hurt it deep down to admit it. But here's the thing: what I understand, it's like, yeah, he had a good amateur, and they said, but bro, did you see in his Olympic run? Like, bro, did you see the way he lost? Like, bro, he got like in this Olympics, obviously amateur, but they act like this guy was a gold medalist. Like, bro, he's not no Lomachenko. He ain't no Usyk. Like, that's the thing. Like, I don't know where they see his skills. Like, bro, I don't know, bro. He had a close fight with Van Marosian. Goes in there with Coca, like he's been looking pretty bad against like guys that you wouldn't even think, and then those guys fight like Triple G and Canelo leftovers, and they get knocked out or washed. So it's like, come on now, you see what happened to
he hasn't looked impressive. He hasn't looked impressive since 154 pounds. That's just the truth of it.
He 154 pounds. He looked good. He looked good.
He looked good, but he hasn't looked good at 160. I mean, he's nothing that wows you right at 160. That's just the truth of it. But I'm telling you right now, this is a guy that's very short-sighted with his career. Now, he has made money though. That's not he has made money. Like, DAZN definitely paid him pretty well for the competition he was fighting. But he's just short-sighted. He just does not look long-term ever when making a career choice.
And you got to think, if he was in any other division besides Canelo's division, like that's his claim to fame. It'll always be Canelo. His name was always be attached to Canelo Alvarez.
Yo, but at some point, listen. At some point, if you can't get the fight you want, if I want, let's say I'm Andre, I can't get Canelo for whatever reason. He's ducking me or whatever. The money doesn't make sense. Whatever the reason is, okay. You know what you start doing? You start picking off opponents that possibly could fight Canelo. You know what? I'm gonna fight Charlo. You know what? I'm gonna fight. You know what? I'm gonna fight. Triple G or whoever
when the name comes to mind, Lennox Lewis was in that exact position. Nobody wanted Lennox. He was boring. He was European, and Riddick Bowe dropped the belt. Lennox, from my memory, was in the same position.
The thing is too,
time, but yeah, my bad.
No, go ahead. With Andrade too is like the thing is too, because I even said this because I was like him having the belt at that point, and this is what I knew, like the transition of what the belts meant and what the fighters that they didn't care about the belts, right? Really, is that he held the belt and no one seemed to care, right? No one seemed to want to take it from him. No one wanted to challenge it for unified. No one cared about any of that, right? It just was whether if you're on the right side of the street or not. And I said this, and like everyone laughed at it. I said he should drop the belt and work his way up another belt, another sanctioning body, and become the mandatory again. And everybody was like, that's the stupidest thing. He's never going to do that. Why would you ever do that? And you know what he just did? He dropped his belt and is working his way up to become a mandatory once again for another belt, for another weight class. He's doing exactly what I said he should have did a few years ago, because the belt meant nothing because he was on the wrong side and none of these guys could make anything happen. And no one really cared for that belt. No one really cared because he had it. He diminished the belt almost in a way because no one thought he was a big name.
Yo, and look, he becomes a free agent, right? And this motherfucker signs with Dimitri Salita. Yo, I'm from New York City. Dimitri Salita is an absolute nobody in this city in terms of boxing promoting. I can't tell you the last time I saw a poster or heard somebody that they go into a Dimitri Salita show. I can't name one fighter besides Clarissa Shields that he promotes. So why the fuck would you sign with this guy?
Because they
maybe I'll remember.
Boxer. Yo, let me go, Frank. And Broadway, you know what's hilarious, bro? He's famous in Michigan because I've been out there. He does shows, but small. They're not. He has some shows on Showtime. He doesn't have a network deal, but he finesses his way into like getting his fighters, right? What I'm saying, and this is from what I heard, Broadway, the Zach Parker fight is not happening, which is hilarious, bro. From what I heard, and also the reason he went over there is because I bet you they promised him big paydays in the UK, and they got fighters in his division that he could probably fight as eliminators for the money he wants. That's what he's saying with them. What I'm saying, it's hilarious, bro. The moves he makes, like he couldn't fight Callum Smith. He couldn't have fought those guys like the Canelo opponents. I feel like I don't know, man. It's ridiculous.
And I'll give you a name that was kind of in a similar position, but like on the other side of the spectrum, Antonio Margarito. If you remember, Margarito was chasing the Floyd Mayweather fight. He couldn't get nobody to step in the ring with them. And then I think he did the pay-per-view with Kermit Citron. He won that. And he really had no big names. He had to go fight Paul Williams and lost. But he still bounced back. And then he ends up getting the big Cotto fight. So these guys want to talk about Andrade, but Margarito was in the same position, but he just went out and fought the fights.
That's what Margarito said.
I think honestly, if you hear everything like Steven Espinosa is saying, I think honestly Andrade was like, I don't think he could go to Showtime. I think they have like, I honestly think they're still like in a court trial, like over some things with their contract. So I like people are saying, well, sign with PBC. And I heard PBC, the rumor is PBC did make some kind of offer. We didn't see it, so I don't know what the money was. But I don't think he could fight on Showtime. I honestly think that relationship is burnt. That bridge is burnt. I don't know if he could do that on Showtime. And Salita supposedly promised Eubanks that fight. Obviously, clearly it didn't happen. Yeah, I don't know. I just think he was basically like Bob Arum worked his magic. He cornered Andrade somehow with Janet Beck, who has no name. No real fan base besides myself, and I like he besides me and Polo, and they cornered Andrade and basically had him. They took his belt from him without even having to fight him. Like, it was crazy. Like, honestly, Bob Arum and them sometimes like do some stuff where you're like, I just can't believe they pulled that off. and he
Ezra, but
took his belt from him.
Hold on. That's not something about him pulling it off. It's about Andre not fighting is mandatory. That's all it was.
But listen,
but what I'm saying though is that he was not cornered though before. He's got cornered though. Go ahead.
Ezra, I have a question though. How come he fought Luke Keeler? Luke Keeler had no fucking name. Jason quickly lost to fucking Gabe.
Okay, but you gotta understand this. But you gotta understand this, Polo. What was DAZN paying them to have those fights? And those guys are not. They don't have the name, but they also don't have the skill, right? But DAZN's paying $1 million, $1.5 million for him to have those fights. Then of course he's going to take those fights, right? Because he's getting paid good versus those guys. He's not going to get paid good against Janibek. It's going to be under $1 million.
So if he got 500,000 and Janibek had Luke Keeler skills, I bet you he would have taken the fight. He saw that Janibek.
If he was what?
Yes. If he had Luke Keeler and Jason Quigley skills, and he would have taken the fight for 550.
Well, yeah, of course, because the risk was worth the reward at that point, right? Low risk, good, whatever payday for him. But he was getting paid millions to fight those guys. Of course, he was going to fight those guys. That was the payday was right. But if he's not going to get paid in the millions to fight Janibek, right? Who I think acknowledges is a good talent, a tough fight. Then he's like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to call that a duck because it just didn't make financial sense to him. The risk, the reward wasn't there.
So if
I think he just got screwed. I think there's a chance that, like you said, you heard that's not going to happen. I heard Parker's. There was a report saying of Parker's possible opponents. None of them were Andrade. If that doesn't happen, then he's just, he's in a bad spot. If it doesn't happen,
you have a question though, but he pulled out the first time. You don't think? I mean, imagine, bro. They spent money on that. They won a person.
Well, he didn't pull out. He got hurt, and then no, he got hurt. He got hurt, and instead of delaying it, they had the right to just say, "No, we're going to take this opportunity from you," and that's what they did.
How do you know behind closed doors? He said, "You know what? I'm going to stay at 160 because here's the thing. What doesn't make sense is they canceled it, right? Whatever. If he didn't want to fight, then like a month later, he's on video. We saw it calling Chris Eubank. So it's like, and in the report, if you saw his injury, didn't it say that he can not train for 6 months or something?" And stuff like that. So was that injury, you think, was it legit or what kind of injury? Because I thought somewhere I read that he couldn't be training for a certain amount of months. So it's like, and now he's talking about doing a fight with, Chris Eubank, and then, possibly fighting Janibek, and now with Parker. It's like, you don't think they moved on because maybe he's going a different route, or do you think they probably do not want to do that because he has a history of pulling out?
I don't know. Like I said, we only have rumors that it's not going to happen. If it doesn't happen, then I don't know. We'll have to see what happened there. I think he was legit hurt, and they used that and said, "Okay, we're not going to wait for you. We're going to keep it moving along. You just defend against Janibek." Then they realized that he's gonna back away from the belt. Top Rank was okay with that, and they said, "Okay, try to make the Parker fight. We'll still honor it within the sanctioning body rules." And if that fight doesn't happen, then he's really screwed. You don't have really any opponent, and you basically almost like be forced into nothing and be forced into no moves, basically a retirement, honestly, because where else are you going to go? There's no direction for him anymore. He already gave up the belt. The belt's done. He's not going back getting that middleweight belt again. He's not going to get that shot against Janibek again. So, yeah, he's basically in a bad spot. He's in the worst possible spot he could possibly be in. I mean, that's honest truth. Go ahead, Clip.
Hey, my bad. I actually started grocery shopping and whatnot, but just want to say peace and blessings to you guys. It was good chopping up boxing. You guys have a good day tomorrow, man.
Good talking to you, Cliff.
Yeah, sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, but yeah, I think Andrade's just in a bad spot. I mean, honestly, it's just like you said, it's just bad career moves, I guess. I mean, he got paid, but just short-sighted. I think everything was just very short-sighted.
But Joel brought up a point. He could have fought the guys like, bro. I'm pretty sure if Callum Smith would have taken that fight, but I'm sure he probably looked at certain things and said, "No, I don't know, going up in weight, fighting this dude." Like he could have really fought Callum Smith or Caleb Plant if he really. But I don't know, politics. But it's like I feel like I don't know, man. I just can't stand like there's certain guys that maybe he doesn't want to fight or want to risk to get a payday. But that's the thing. Like, why don't you take up the opponents that
I think honestly, one that really hurt him was the Billy Joe Saunders fight, where Saunders ended up pissing hot.
But why didn't he do this? Why didn't he? But listen, why didn't he do this? You realize that he could have did what he's doing right now a while ago. He could have went up, got the belt, defended it, then ended up fighting Billy or challenged to be Billy Joe's mandatory.
No. That's what
No,
I
he
said.
never
I said
did.
this. I said that. No, but I said this years ago. I said he should have did that, and then everybody was like, "No, he can't give up that belt because then he'll never fight you." You know that belt is the reason why he could get all these fights, but it never came out. I knew it wasn't going to happen. I knew no
But I have a
one was going
question
to go
though.
out of their way to fight him. It just wasn't going
Yo,
to
I have
happen.
a question. But I have a question. I heard somewhere that I was reading that apparently that was an option, but apparently he didn't want to move up like fully. Like he wanted to just move up to fight Billy Joe and move back down. His plan was to just fight a name and just move back down. His plan was never to move up. You know that,
But
right?
I don't
Like they're
think he
saying it.
wasn't fighting Billy Joe at 167. They're fighting at 160.
No, but I'm saying that what he should have done was he should have defended his belt, right? Made his way into being Billy Joe's mandatory. So then at that point, he had, it would have looked if Canelo didn't, because Canelo did go on that run. So I'm saying that I read somewhere that apparently he never was planning to move up. What he just wanted to do was get that fight in there, get a name, and just move back down. So his plan was never to stay up there and unify anything. Just get a
We're
fight up
doing
there.
too much Andre talk, man. This dude is so irrelevant in boxing, man. Could we talk about somebody
Man,
who
you just said it.
like, come on, man. Like, don't get
Say
me
it
wrong. I
again.
understand we talking boxing and we're gonna talk every division and all that, but god damn, man, this dude is so irrelevant. Let's move on from
I
this.
got to be honest though. We will move on for Andre, but one thing though, he does get kind of like he does kind of make a name of himself in boxing. Like you would think, like he doesn't have a name, but everybody talks about him. Like especially on boxing Twitter, everyone talks about him. Like
Because he has a claim to fame.
that's what I'm saying. Like there isn't a week that goes by that I don't talk Andre. For a guy that's
he
not a
doesn't have a
star.
good name.
Well, I'm just saying for a guy that's not a star, I talk about him more than I talk about for sure Tank. Talk about him more than I talk about Haney. Talk about him more than I talk about Usyk. Like if for a guy that's not a star, I talk about him a lot. And
Yeah,
you're 100%
because
right.
it's what do you call that? It's like it's the rap game, man. It's like boxing is like the rap game. It's like who you're attached to, what crew. It's damn near similar.
It's somewhat working for him in a weird way. But okay, let's go. What's the next topic? What do you guys want to talk about?
I just want to say this. You remember Teofimo's last opponent, Pedro Campa?
Mm-hmm.
He's faced more former world champions.
I know. I see this.
That's the type of level.
Bro, Blair Cobbs, man, he beat Maurice Hooker.
Yeah, Blair Cobbs. Come on, man. Like this dude it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Bro, it's always somebody else's fault. It's always somebody. It's never the guy's fault. So let's move on, bro. I try to explain this to people, and remember, you tried too, and you got people got in their feelings, but now they're seeing it. It's like, man, the pudding was always there. Let's talk about Madames Janabek middleweight division, though, man. What you guys think? Who do you guys think is going to run the middleweight division?
I'm not talking about the featherweight, but go ahead. Nah, what
What do you guys want to talk about? But I don't know. Middleweight division is all right. Go featherweight then.
Yeah. Go ahead, bro.
Nah, man. The featherweight division, man. One is a very deep division, and if these guys can, unfortunately, a lot of these guys are on different platforms, but if these guys get in the ring, man, it is straight fireworks from Navarrete to Brandon Figueroa to Mauricio Lara to Luis Alberto Lopez.
Mm-hmm.
This is guys there that just make fireworks if you just throw them in the ring together. And I really like the division. Stephen Fulton, he's at 122. I'm sure if he can't get the MJ fight or the Inoue fight, he'll soon be moving up. This is one of my personal favorite divisions. It's not a division that gets talked about a lot for whatever reason, but there's a lot of good, entertaining fighters.
Yeah, this is one of the things where I always talk about. Oh, go ahead, Frank. Go ahead.
It's a historically great division. Barrera Morales. No, that 126. Barrera Morales was that 122.
What was 126? They were there though. Barrera, Marcus.
It's always had great talent. And the thing is, I always say it's like if you're going to be new to boxing and you don't want to be frustrated with the business of boxing or frustrated with all the politics of it, pick a division like 126. Because 126, no one makes enough money to where it's going to get in the way of a fight happening. And even if, like, say you have a guy on one side of the street, he is not going to be your moneymaker. So you're not going to be like, I need this guy here. No, you'll be willing to send him off and take a chance and hopefully he wins and everything. So all the fights that you want are possibly going to get made if you like a division like 126. Like if you have Leigh Wood's going to fight Mauricio Lara, right? That's a great fight. That's a fantastic fight. You have Santa Cruz is going to fight Ray Vargas. Another great, fantastic fight. And you know what's going to happen? The winner's going to fight each other because it's not that costly. It's not that much of a gamble from the networks. And you're going to get great fights from that. Like, I love this weight division, and I love because it's not too confusing. The business of it doesn't get involved too much.
And it's
Are you
vacant.
sure about that? Yo, I'm gonna tell you right this. That was the case years ago, Ezra. But I'm gonna tell you right now, that's not the case right now because, like an example, do you think they would send a guy like Real Santa Cruz or Tyrank to fight Navarrete? Do you think they would take a gamble like that?
I think that they could make it happen in some way because, like I said, it's not a big gamble. It's not like a huge amount of money being spent
Well,
to
I
do
have a
that.
question though. But listen, say Leo, and I'm pretty sure, bro. I like Leo, but he would not be Navarrete. Like, unless he comes on his day and they lose that fight and he takes the belt, they just lost the belt in their network. And same with with Navarrete, like it's just the politics. And also,
But
Lee Wood and Lara has a rematch clause, right? So if Lara wins, you do know that there's a rematch, right?
well, okay, so here's the thing though. So that is per the sanctioning bodies, right? Where they approve this deal to say, okay, these guys fight each other, and then the winners will face each other. So I don't think the rematch clause could get in the way of the winners fighting each other. Now maybe they could come back into that, but it's per the sanctioning bodies and it's per mandatories and all that stuff. I don't know if the rematch can get in the way, but either way, I don't care. Even if it does, I'll watch that fight again.
No, hell yeah. I'm just saying.
All I'm saying is also too with Navarrete and Leo Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz is the A side on that. So he's not going to have to go fight Navarrete. And I know maybe Top Rank won't send Navarrete because they want him to fight Shakur Stevenson. So they're holding off.
No, they will send him. I think they send him. I'm telling you, bro. Navarrete would.
Well, maybe that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't be surprised if they sent him because I'm saying the weight division, it doesn't. To me, the weight division doesn't. It's not enough money in it where it's like, oh no, we can't afford it or it's too risky. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's the perfect weight division.
But I'm saying, what would happen to say Ray and Leo fight this year, right? November, December. The winner, whoever wins that. And say Lara beats Wood. But now they would have to wait for the winner of Lara Wood to see because like you said, it is in the and they agreed, but they also put a rematch card. So now
I don't know. I mean they can wait or they can fight
mandatory.
Yeah, that or fight Max Isle or fight Brandon Figueroa. I mean, either way, you're gonna get a good fight though.
And I'm gonna give a sleeper name. I got a sleeper name. Okay, I got two of them, but my biggest sleeper is Robici.
Yeah,
Ramirez. That's my sleeper, and then Brandon. I think one of those two guys are going to come out on top if we can get these fights. Because right now they're fantasy. So
the one thing about Brandon is, and I like Brandon, but I just think that he was like Chavez. We're talking about Chavez Jr. at 160. I think Brandon at 122 was insane because he was a humongous guy making that weight class, and he was really effective because he was so big. Compared to those guys, I think at 126, I don't know if he's going to be able to bully guys like how he has. I don't know if his style's going to be as effective.
I think Masayo could beat him. You know the Masayo.
Yeah, I think Masayo would be a lot of trouble for him because he has natural strength, natural explosion.
Ooh.
But Ruiz Romero is going to be Ruiz Ramirez is going to be very tough. I mean, that he looks like he's
my dark horse.
The goods right there. Yeah, he looks like he could be the goods. I would love to see him fight Navarrete.
You think so? I don't know, man. Frank, that's the one I'm gonna because I don't know, man. I've seen him in the debut, his first fight. He didn't look so good. So that loss, obviously was first fight, but he got dropped and almost got stopped. So we'll see what happens. I gotta see more of him against like the top contenders or like guys that were from because that debut, man, he almost got stopped.
My sleeper is Luis Alberto Venado Lopez. That dude, he's awkward. He throws punches from weird angles. He rolls with punches very well. He's very confident, and he hits hard. Like he was the one who exposed Gabriel Flores. He's just coming off a knockout. I really think that he's being overlooked. Is he as flashy or as entertaining as a Mauricio Lara? No, but you don't need to be. I really like the way he fights.
You know what I'm going to say about him?
Box.
He's the best of Rolly Romero. He's like the ultimate version of Rolly Romero. He's Rolly Romero. If Rolly Romero was actually a very good fighter, that's what.
I don't know, man. He can actually box and he has decent footwork. So with him, he's awkward, but he can box and he has skills. So that's why when he fights Warrington,
I like him a lot.
I think because that fight's gonna happen. I think
him and Warrington, right? That's the rumor. Yeah, that's the one.
In December. But I'm saying I think he's gonna be Warrington to the point that this is I think he's gonna retire Warrington.
I come on, Polo. I don't think he's gonna beat him that bad, but I do think he's gonna win.
Are you sure about that? I mean, bro, look at the Lara fight. If he had Charles with Lara and Bernardo,
Laura's an aggressive power puncher.
But Bernardo can punch
I wouldn't say
in
that.
this angle.
That's
I'm gonna tell you right now, Ortiz is gonna get stopped. Like this fight, bro, he's gonna get beat worse than he did with Lara. Watch.
Yeah, I think he's the weakest link. Like that's the weakest link.
It doesn't make sense for Warrington to make that fight, honestly.
Well, he's a mandatory. No, bro, there's no way around it. Like he has to fight. Like he's literally. Yeah, and it's been a year already. Like,
but okay, so let's say if you're Warrington, right? And okay, you keep the belt. For whatever you want to unify with someone, but you see, we already know that we went through what basically the tournament's going to happen with Leigh Wood and all them. Why not just drop the belt and be like, hey, this is a tough fight. I'd rather just get another guy that's, you know, at least a bigger name or a lesser opponent. Like, to me, like, I don't know, that's a really tough fight to go into than just to keep your belt that you can't even unify with for a while. Like, I don't know, that seems tough to me.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a waste of time. Like, I like Warrington. I think it's just, bro, it's just there's new talent. Like, at one point with Frampton, Valdez, and I forgot who I think Gary, he was like a top name because of resume, and I liked him. I just think, you know, obviously there's going to be new talent, and he, you know, obviously they're pushing him out. What I think he should have done is he should have done that he vacated, and then you know what we would have gotten? We would have gotten Lara versus Lopez for the vacant belt. But, bro, he decided to keep the belt. So if I was him, I would have just waited to see, you know. But I guess he wants to keep his title, man. That would have been a firefight. Lopez versus Lara for the vacant belt.
If you drop the belt, where do you go in the rankings? Could you be like re-ranked, or do you just have to fight again and earn your way back in? Like, can I drop the belt and be like number 5 or like number 1?
Yep, you could do that because he did that. Because they didn't let him unify with Zucchia. Remember, they didn't want to let so he dropped the belt and then he fought Lara and then he fought for the title. So you actually stay in the ranking. You're not gonna be like the champ. You'll just move a couple spots. So when you drop the belt, you stay in the top 10 still.
See, what I might have done if I was him was drop the belt, let Lara and that guy fight each other, let them beat each other down. I'll fight the winner of that, who's probably going through hell to get that title, and then gives me a better chance to keep my title again. And then you could say that, you know, you guys like to say he's like 5-time world champion. He could be like, oh, I'm like 3-time world champion now because I dropped it and then when I got it back. That Tyson Fury technique, you know what I mean? Retire and then get all your belts back. That's what I would have done.
You see how much more fun we're having talking about the featherweight division?
I'm telling you, featherweight division is nice. I've been trying to preach it. I'm telling you, people need to get in on these weight classes.
It's deep, and if you like
108, like I imagine how much fun like Lord and J-Bro have liking 108 pounds. Every dream fight they have is going to be made like on a Tuesday at 12 o'clock. It's amazing.
I don't know, man. I like the small weights, but man, them dudes are smarter than me. And like, man, come on, I'm not gonna wake up at 3 in the morning to see dudes that are up to.
Yeah, I was when I was in 4th grade, I weighed 105.
Let me tell you something right now. We're talking about little small weights. The best fight of this weekend was that what weight was that? Is that 108 pounds?
108. Yeah, that was the fight.
My goodness, that fight was fantastic. That was a
night.
What was their names? What was it? Flores and Flores.
I can't pronounce his name.
It left such an impression that you forgot their name.
I honestly, the guy's last name is so hard to pronounce, but I'm gonna remember it right now. I'm gonna go find it right now.
No, what was Flores' first name?
Hector. Hector Baby Bull Flores. It's Hector. It's Hector Baby Bull Flores.
Oh, not that guy. This is the guy that won.
Oh, he's from South Africa. But here's the thing: what I was gonna tell you. The thing is, that fight was at night, though. When you're at home, relaxed.
Nanshinga, I think his name is
Nanshinga.
Oh man, that was a great fight. Did you watch this, Jay? Broadway?
Yeah, I saw it.
Dude, that was a great, fantastic fight. Both guys deserve credit. I want to see both of them fight. Continue, and I don't know. That was just I stole it to me like it was just a surprise fight, a card that went under the radar, and I just thought that stole the whole show. That was a great fight, great pace. I call those guys like marathon punchers. Like they punch and it's not over. They're never putting over too much on it. They're not ever putting too much speed on it. But like they could just punch like that the whole night, like 12 straight rounds.
Basically.
Yeah.
He went to the hospital. You know the Nakshinga guy. He went to the hospital and he was throwing up. Like
he had a stomach flu going into that fight.
Did he? I thought he was.
Yeah, he had
That's
a-
even more impressive.
Yeah, he had a stomach flu going into that fight, and he kept that pace. It was a great fight, and if anyone needs to watch that, it's on DAZN. Look that up. That's on the undercard for Francisco Estrada versus
Augie Cortez.
Augie Cortez.
I didn't see the main.
Okay,
I missed.
let me give Augie Cortez. Look him up. Pay attention to him. He gave an excellent effort for a fight that was supposed to be a tune-up. Once again, Matchroom. Not even their Mexicans can beat the Mexicans that they bring in for tune-ups. And it was a tough fight for Francisco Estrada. Basically took everything for him to get that win, to get that W. And it just ended up being a really tough fight. And I think that they kind of dropped the ball not promoting Cortez after the end of the fight because he gave a great effort. And I want to see him continue to fight top guys. And that the one of the deepest division of boxing, in my opinion, 115 pounds. So, yeah, that was a great fight as well. Francisco pulls it out and is going to fight Chocolatito next. And I don't know. I don't think you'd leave that fight feeling super confident. Francisco Estrada beats Chocolatito in the third fight.
Man, it's boxing.
You think 115 is deeper than 140?
I think 115 is the deepest. As far as like top level talent, it's the best division in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
I'm talking about depth. I'm talking about depth.
Yeah, depth. It is. Depth gets a little crazy because 140 has a lot of guys.
Bro, they had 3 pound for pound guys under. They had Gallo, they had Yoka, they had Tanaka, they had like.
I think top level talent, 115 takes a cake. To me, it's not close.
Even close. Yeah, because they had literally at one point they had 5 guys that were in the pound for pound in that division.
I gotta get into these little guys, man. And I do watch the big fights. Like I did watch Chocolatito versus Estrada. I do watch the big fights, but I'll be honest with you. Anything under 118, if I gotta risk a virus to watch your fight at 5 in the morning, like I may not watch.
Yeah, I watch the ones in the States though at night though. That's the thing, bro. I'm with you. I'm gonna watch them at night when I'm at home in casita. But at 3 or 5 in the morning, nah, bro. I'm good on that. I ain't watching some dudes in Japan or some dudes in like. Nah, I watch when it's in prime time at night.
And they just made that stacked card. I think it's gonna be in Japan, and that's gonna be like on Tuesday, like early in the morning. So.
Man, maybe,
it takes commitment. It takes an effort to be a fan of these lower weight divisions, and they don't make it easy for us.
You know what's funny? I'm actually gonna watch that fight because Monday I work overnights, so meaning I'll be up at 5 in the morning when this fight's like when the main event happens. So I'll definitely check that out.
You know what we need for Bowie?
I know he's fighting, right?
No, that card isn't in a way. That card is Polo's gonna know that.
Kaguchi versus
the
WBC champ. I knew about that fight for a while, man. I got a close source for that. I told Lord and people that were in the space. I don't know if Browy was in there, but I told people about that champ, and I told them that about the undercard. The only one I didn't call was the Nakatito, the 112 champion. I didn't know he was fighting on that card.
Yeah, so it's a stacked card. Like I'm telling you, that it's another one of those cards where like it doesn't take a lot of money to make these fights. So they could basically the best guys are going to fight the best guys, and that's just what's going to happen.
That most likely would be on DAZN.
They're usually more entertaining than the fights where bigger guys are fighting.
Yeah,
I mean it's just competitiveness.
That might be on DAZN because Kaguchi is with Matchroom.
So I'm probably gonna wrap it up soon, but I do want to leave it with this. And I don't know if people are appreciating this, but I'm appreciating this a lot. These these main events where you have 2 mid-level guys, and I mean mid-level like mid the top 10 or top 20, right? So you had like Comey versus Pedraza. To me, excellent fight, very competitive. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was about the 50-50 matchup as you can get. Then you do Ruiz versus Ortiz. Once again, 50-50 matchup. Makes a lot of sense. They're right next to each other. Competitive fight, entertaining. I want these to keep going. See, I think people are down on these. They're not giving them the respect they deserve. These mid-level fights where the mid-level talent in the division fight each other. Give me competitive fights. I don't care what they can't be the best guy in the division. I don't care about that. Give me these fights where they're going to be competitive, where I don't know going in who's going to win. I don't want to see these squash matches. I want to see 2 guys fight where I'm like, hey, I don't know who's going to win this fight. I think this could be very entertaining, and that's what it's been. And I'm gonna give respect to it.
Yeah,
I agree. No,
No, go ahead, Frank. My bad.
Oh no, my barometer is always. I try to tell my friends. You know, I'm not going to recommend bad fights to my friends because I don't want to turn them away. So this last card with Estrada, I got a recommendation and I recommended it to friends, and we just got new fans.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you know, that to me, that's what it amounts to is trying to win people over. So am I going to recommend Cambosos Haney 2? Probably not. But I'm going to recommend Alicia Bumgardner, Michaela Mayer. I'm going to be like, yo, if you want to see some boxing, these girls are going to get it in. And that's my barometer for like what Easy's saying.
Yeah.
Even if it's mid-level guys, if it's entertaining, it's going to provide action. I'm going to say, hey, bro, if you want to see something, check it out. And that's...
Ezra, the reason you brought that up and the reason you're feeling like that itch hasn't been scratched is because back in the day, that was just a ESPN Friday Night Fights.
Yeah, that's true.
Friday Night Fights, they used to have Emmanuel Augustus, Delvin Rodriguez, Mickey Ward. A bunch of these names, like, we're all familiar with these guys, but neither guy I mentioned is a Hall of Famer or was ever a top pound. Neither was a champion either. So it's like, and we're familiar with these names. So I feel like that niche in boxing is missing. That's why I was loving the NBC Ring City. I thought that they were gonna fill that gap where it's like, all right, we got these kind of like mid-level guys who just fight each other, and every now and then we'll have a prospect his first time stepping up against a contender. That's missing in boxing, and I'm glad you just pointed that out.
Yeah, and remember too, like when you had HBO and Showtime, if you had say you had contenders fight each other, right? If one guy lost, there was a good chance you never seen him on TV ever again. Like it was just like, oh damn, well they only have 2 fights and they fight. There's only like 2 fights a month. So when is this guy going to ever get TV time again? He's got to work his way all the way back. That's why what happened to Winky Wright. Honestly, Winky Wright came up short like twice, and they never saw him on TV again. He had to go to France. He had to go do all these things but thank God for these network deals, right? Where these guys basically put a fight on every weekend, and you have to fill so many cards that it's almost impossible to be out of work as a fighter. It really is. It's almost impossible to be out of work as a fighter and that's why I don't get is when these guys get these opportunities and they fight a guy and they're just okay losing a decision. They're just going to survive and they make a boring fight. And it's like, hey, if you make this entertaining, you will get another opportunity. There's just no doubt about it. You're going to get another opportunity there. So yeah, I think the network deals is really benefiting us in that, especially that way. Go ahead, Polo. My bad. Cut you off.
No, you're good. I was gonna say, I thought Ring City usually has prospects too. They're not with like if they're with like promoters or say big or they're trying to get like more dates. But I agree, we need something like that to get like more fill-in to see like like guys that maybe they can't like. Example, I've seen Charles Conwell was on there.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. William Cepeda was on there. Sharky Foster was on there. Like you had guys that Rocky Hernandez that just scored that knockout. Like guys like that were on there. So definitely we need Ring City. And I was gonna ask you, this is out of who are your top 5 heavyweights right now? Because Luis Ortiz and Andy Ruiz were top 10 though, and I think Ruiz is top 5 right now. But who is your top 5 heavyweights?
All right, I'll go first. I got right now I have Fury, Usyk, Joshua, Wilder, and number 5, Joyce. Number 5 stuff. I'm just thinking on top of my head right now. I would say Joyce, number 5.
I would have the same exact list.
What about you, Frank? I got the same. Well, Usyk number 1, Tyson Fury number 2, AJ number 3. Philip Hrgovic, and probably Andy Ruiz.
You got Wilder in there?
No, hell no.
He hasn't won a fight in 3 years. Like
Dude, you gotta get a win under your belt.
Bro, I have a question. How I don't even think he should be tough. Like he's coming off 2 knockout losses. He hasn't won a fight in 3 years. Like usually for other guys, they would be out of the list or they wouldn't even be ranked. Like I think he needs to earn his way up.
And my sleeper is Zilly Zhang. I just want to see him fight again, man. I want to see him against all these guys.
Most likely he fights Joshua pretty soon.
But I'll tell you my list. Fury's number 1. Number 2 is Usyk. Number 3 is Joshua. Number 4 is Andy Ruiz, and number 5 is Parker.
Okay, let me tell you something right now. You out of your mind if you have those guys over Wilder. Okay, let me tell you right now. You can't blame Wilder for losing to the top guy in the division. Okay, if you want guys to fight tough guys, you can't punish them so bad for losing to the top guys. Okay, you can't put no way you're gonna put Andy Ruiz, right, who beat Areola and an old Luis Ortiz, right, an old Luis Ortiz. You can't put him over Wilder. It's just not. It's not possible. Doesn't make sense.
But I have a question.
Now,
that's the same Ortiz that was literally winning both fights.
No, it wasn't the same Ortiz. That's the best way you could phrase it.
No,
it wasn't the same Ortiz. It's the same name. It's the same birth certificate. It's the same license, but it's not the same guy because that guy was in his prime and this guy isn't. This is consistent.
Any other division, a guy loses the fight. Yeah, he lost to the best, but they're not going to be still top 5. He hasn't won a fight. All these guys have won. If I do that logic, then no, Dylan White should still be top 5 because Dylan White obviously is a loss. Dylan White was in my top 5.
Yeah, you're right. Dylan White should be borderline top 5. You're right. You're 100% right about that. If Earl Spence and Crawford fight each other, right, and one guy's going to lose that fight, is he going to drop out your top 5?
If he loses,
I'm going by activity too.
No.
Wilder's been fighting. I mean, he's been fighting. I mean, that's just that he just happened to fight the best guy 3 times in a row. He fought the best guy 3 times in a row.
Listen.
Let me say this right now. I mean, if Andy Ruiz fought Fury 3 times in a row, he get beat down 3 times in a row. You can't blame the guy for. We asked these guys to fight the best guys. You can't punish them for fighting the best
Nobody's blaming him, but you got to understand your last image of Wilder.
Yeah, he got knocked out by the best guy, but he also gave that guy hell too. He almost had that guy out almost a few times too.
No, he was bludgeoned. The last 2 times bludgeoned. Like imagine a meat hammer coming down and just bludgeoning the guy.
Did Fury get dropped several times in that fight?
Yeah, but how many rounds did Wilder win? How many rounds in the 3 fights?
It was a competitive. That fight was it was a competitive fight. No, we're not gonna say that was good. Was it a fight of the year? If it's fight of the year, it's a competitive fight.
How many rounds did Wilder win in that fight?
In the third one?
The third one and the second one.
The second one, he didn't win many at all. The third one, he probably won about 3, maybe 3 rounds.
That's competitive fight too. Out of 2 fights,
you could lose every round and be in a competitive fight.
Let me ask you this: when was the last time you seen someone take that much of a beating and come back?
Okay, well, first of all, that was a fight of the year. So I understand there was a beating. It was also a fight of the year. So which means it was a competitive fight. And also he's fighting the best guy. So, okay, wait. You guys have Joshua in there, right? He just lost to Usyk twice.
But he didn't get beat down. We're talking about a beat down.
What's the definition? What's the definition of beat down? So you get knocked down or you get schooled for 12 rounds?
When you get your soul cooking.
Yeah, but listen, Joshua was unified.
Dude, he was licking the blood off of his back. What more do you want?
Listen,
that's embarrassing.
No, it's not embarrassing. He lost one of the best guys in the world.
He didn't lick the blood off his back.
Listen. Joshua has been active, bro. Listen, so after Wilder loses to Fury, okay, it happened, right? He could have fought during the pandemic. He could have fought a fight, but he didn't fight anybody. And he fought Fury, lost, went in the layout. I'm saying you, Joshua lost to Usyk, and Joshua's gonna fight in December and fight more times than Wilder. Watch.
Okay, well, you have Parker number 5. What has he done to be over Wilder? I'm just curious. Who has he beat that you're like, I need to put him over Wilder?
Filip Hrgović over him. Come on, man.
Yeah, come on.
Wait, Parker's a former world champion. Wait. Is that the same Philip that arguably lost his fight to a guy that everybody was saying he was going to knock out and wasn't?
We're not saying Hrgović. Frank had Hrgović in his top 5. We're saying that it shouldn't be in there. I'm saying Joseph Parker should not be in the top 5 over Wilder. That's insane. That's taking away too much credit for being a top guy, for losing to a top guy.
Bro, listen, who Parker's only loss to was Joshua was 4 years ago. Dylan White. After that,
hold on.
You talking about the Parker that went to life and death with Chisora? Oh, Wash Chisora? You talking about the guy that went life and death with him?
He didn't go life and death.
Yes, he did. He went life and death. The first one, he went life and death with him.
Bro, Chisora gave Usyk hell. Chisora gives a lot.
So what you're doing, you're rewarding a guy for fighting lesser competition. That's what you're doing. You're rewarding a guy because everything that we complain about in boxing, like, oh, this guy's protecting his record and everything, you guys are trying to reward. And I'm saying, nah, you fight the top guy and you lose, but you're already a top guy at that point. You cannot be all the way off the list. That's the same thing as what they did with Canelo when they took him off the top 10 pound for pound because he lost to a top guy. That doesn't make any sense.
He moves a couple spots. He's not that.
He moves exactly. He moves a couple spots. That's what Wilder did. He moved a couple spots.
But he's
if those fights are competitive, 10. I could agree with you, but they were not competitive.
Ezra, I'm asking you.
Okay, was Canelo Bivol competitive? Was Canelo?
He didn't take a beat down though. It's not like he got splattered.
He got schooled though, right?
Ezra, he wasn't a stain.
But if he loses again, he's gonna probably be off the list. But I'm saying,
yeah, if he loses again, though,
but Wilder is still top 10. He should even, bro. Listen to this, Parker. All right. Parker has a better resume than Wilder. Let's get that. Why should Wilder be? Okay,
what is Parker's best win? What's Parker's best win?
Wait, he beat Andy Ruiz. What's Wilder's best win?
Why is Andy Ruiz a top win?
Luis Ortiz twice.
Yeah, why is Andy? No, I want to know why is Andy Ruiz a big win? Because he has a win over Joshua.
Yeah, he beat Joshua and became unified.
But what happened in that? What happened in the second? What happened in the second fight?
Yeah,
what happened in the second fight? No, don't give me the bouts because he beat one guy and he was a late replacement. He didn't earn that title shot. So he beat one guy, and then what happened in the second fight? He got schooled.
Listen, yeah, that happens. But wait, the late replacement.
Who?
Because they offered Ortiz to fight, and he turned it down.
Okay, and then he fought Areola, right? He fought Areola, and he got dropped in that fight. And that was a competitive fight against Areola that was not considered a top guy at that point. It was actually considered washed at that point, right? It was in a competitive fight. So what has he done to me, right? That says this is a legit. Andy Ruiz is a legit top guy.
Okay,
over Wilder.
He just got a win over. Listen, he just got a win over a top guy in Ortiz. Okay,
no.
Give you that.
You think Ortiz is a notable win? You think Ortiz is a notable win at heavyweight right now?
He's a top 10. Wait, he's top 10, isn't he?
It's enough to get him a Wilder fight. So then you're knocking your own man. So then why is he going to fight Ruiz?
Because they're on the same side of the street. Because they're on the same side of the street. It's all politics. It's a politics.
No, but if you got to give them the same credit because they're both going to fight. So that's going to make your case look weak. If you knock Ruiz.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is, because you're not giving. You're saying Ruiz is not a good. Okay, I'm going to say. So you're saying Ruiz is not apparently a good win, but Ruiz is a better win, bro. Listen,
Ruiz is a better win than Ortiz. He's a better win than Ortiz in his prime. No, he's not.
Yes.
No, he's not.
But Wilder's going to fight Ruiz, so you're hurting your own case in the future.
It's not hurting anything. It's not hurting.
Yes, you are. You're waking up. If you're knocking Ruiz right now, you're going to make Wilder's case look even weaker.
No, because you're saying that I'm going to give him all this credit for beating Ruiz. When I'm already saying that he's going to destroy Ruiz. First of all, that's a bad matchup for Ruiz.
But then Ruiz ain't shit. He's nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
So he didn't really do much.
Yeah, I don't need to.
If Wilder beats Ruiz, how does that look then? It don't look like nothing.
Well, it looks like he beat the guy
that he's supposed to beat.
No, Ezra. If he beats Ruiz, he gets full credit. I'm gonna get you on this. Okay, what's Ortiz's best win?
Ortiz's best win is Brian Jennings, I think.
And what's Ruiz's best win? Joshua. What happened? Well, he beat Charles Martin, and we were saying example. Would Jennings beat Joshua?
Would who?
Would Brian Jennings beat Joshua?
No.
Exactly. Ruiz has a better way. And listen, how many
times
he's gonna fight?
So here's the thing, and I've been consistent with this. Ruiz is only a good win because Joshua. See, it's almost like fluffing Joshua's resume. You lose to a guy that you should have beat, right? You lose to a guy, and then you go back and beat him, and somehow that's a notable win. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to play it like that. So what I'm going to tell you right now.
Listen. Ruiz will beat a lot of guys top 10. It seems like you're kind of down. I'm telling you.
That's the thing.
I think he could be White. He could be White. He could be Parker. I think he'll beat Parker.
Why though? Well, he fought Parker. He lost.
So watch that fight. No.
I mean, it's close. It's competitive, but he lost. It was a close competitive fight that he lost.
We gotta that many people. But I'm saying I'll give Parker. Parker can box, and Parker went on to be. And like I'm saying, you gotta give Ruiz. Ruiz is I think a top 5, top 10 heavyweight. He's not a guy that just got there for a lucky shot. And
okay, where do you have Wilder at in your top 10?
6.
Okay, he's right there.
He would just be on the six. He'd be 6. There you go.
It's
He's
it's
not.
not.
He's not cracking it.
But listen, pretty soon.
Okay, he beats.
if
Okay, he
George-
knocks
listen,
out. He knocks out Helenius. Where's he at? If he knocks out Helenius, where's he at?
Probably top 5 back again. And depending, he top 5 probably most likely.
What about you, Frank?
Is Hellenius top 10? Is Hellenius top 10 though? Because he's
I don't
He's
give a crap
still,
about the.
Ruiz and Flip hold it over Wilder. They're better wins.
that is true though because
Orgovich is a better win than Wilder.
No,
Ortiz is a
Flip
better
beating
win than
Zilly Zhang is a
Hellenius.
better win.
Why? Well, who's Zhang beat to be a credible win? Well, because he has to me.
Life and death.
He was undefeated. He was top 10.
He's
I mean,
Olympic
what more do you
medalist.
need? What is Hellenius?
Okay, wait, he's Olympic medalist. He's Olympic medalist because Wilder's an Olympic medalist.
But we're talking about right now.
No,
you
no,
want to
no,
be
no, no,
recency
wait.
bias. We're talking about right now.
That is true. Yeah. No, I'm saying it because if they beat Wilder, that's a good win because obviously. But I'm saying Zhang is a better win than Ortiz, in my opinion, because look, he's undefeated, and you're gonna see Zhang is gonna have a better career than Ortiz.
Zhang's a better win. Zhang's a better win than
Ortiz
Ortiz.
claim to fame? In my opinion, yes. What's Ortiz claim to fame? He was an outstanding amateur. 0, nothing in the amateurs that I looked him up. Wasn't even nothing. He was that guy that Klitschko knocked out, his sparring partner, and that's his claim. What is Ortiz's claim to fame? He is a top 10.
Here, I'll give you this. Ruiz has a win over Joshua. That's a better win than Ortiz. I'll give you that. 100%. He beat Ortiz. Now, I don't think Ortiz is the same Ortiz if Wilder fought. I think everyone knows that.
Okay, bro, we're not using that prime for prime.
No,
but use that. I think
but you have to use that. I mean,
matchup.
context matters, right?
Bro, I think Ruiz still beats him. Ortiz would not be able to handle that speed. Like I think.
Well,
I mean, and you know what's hilarious? That Ruiz was coming off a layup and Ortiz was active. That makes it more like.
What also is hilarious is that Ortiz is 43 years old, and has 0 legs. But okay, whatever. So if you wanna argue Ruiz is above Wilder, then we can argue. You could. I'm okay. I'll accept that. Whatever. We're not going to put Orgovich over him. We're not going to put Parker over him. We're not going to do that because that's a reach. There's just no way. Okay, you're not going to.
Okay, flip. Not right now because he's still like obviously.
Okay.
With Parker's a former world champion. Has been like you said. If Parker stops Joyce, he's an undefeated coming.
Yeah. If Parker beats Joyce, then yes, we could talk. If he beats Joyce. Let's get there though first.
Now, if Joyce beats Parker, how about what if Joyce beats Parker though? Parker's a way better win than Hellenius by a long shot.
I mean, when was the last time Wilder had a win? How many years has it been since he had an actual win?
He's fought Tyson Fury 3 times in a row.
No,
when's the last time someone fought the level of competition Tyson Fury 3 times in a row?
But he didn't win. He didn't win. He lost.
But no matter. But you're punishing him for fighting the best guy.
I'm not punishing. I'm punishing the way he lost. How he got beat.
Wait, Joshua. Listen. Joshua fought Usyk and made it he won some rounds, made it a distance. He held his own, and like I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure.
Why didn't he get knocked out though? But why didn't he get knocked out though?
Because it was a competitive fight. But I'm saying
is it because Usyk is an undersized heavyweight
except Fury?
No, so you're trying to compare it because it's 2 different fighters are fighting. But when Wilder's fighting the biggest heavyweight in the world right now. He's fighting the biggest.
You're giving him credit for losing.
Of course. If it's a competitive fight, we're talking about Triple G, right? You want to talk about Triple G? We mentioned him earlier. Triple G's really best performance is he was competitive with Canelo. I mean, that's the honest truth. Is that the fact that he was competitive with Canelo and he lost in the second fight, but he was competitive in it? That's really like how we know how good he is. It's really just his competitiveness in the fight. It's not that he won the fight. It's his competitiveness.
Well, but he didn't get left a stain like Wilder got left a stain.
Well, I mean, that's heavyweights. He's fighting. What's the weight division? What's the weight gap there? It's
you're talking about a dude who hasn't won in 3 years. What are you talking about?
3 years? Who did he fight those 3 years?
Because he got flattened. Because he got flattened. He's a stain. They had to pick him up and fix his head.
He also has a draw with the best guy in the world. He also has the draw with the best heavyweight in the world. He also has a draw. We gonna give credit for that? Bro, you know what? That fight's competitive. No, that fight's actually closer than what people remember.
Broadway. What do you think?
He would have lost it without the knockdown, but okay,
that's fine. Well, Ruiz would have lost this weekend without some knockdowns. If we're being honest, that's 100% the truth.
No, but you want to give credit to a guy that hasn't won in 3 years.
Yo.
Think about that. How long is 3 years? 3 years is a long time. Think about everything that everybody's done in 3 years.
If you're fighting the best guy in the world, what do you mean? round by
Ezra,
round.
I was gonna ask you, how do you score fights? Yo, Ezra. If you look at the sheet and how many rounds Fury outlanded Wilder, you're saying you go round by round. You guys go of how many punches are landed, power. Do you see the stats of Wilder versus Fury? That should tell you that wasn't a draw. The knockdowns, yeah, Wilder won the rounds, you knocked them down, but look at the stats. Like they weren't like but
Okay,
I'm
so
saying that Fury had
remember,
case that he won that fight.
He's gonna have two 10-8 rounds. Remember that. He's gonna have two 10-8 rounds in that fight. So if he wins
the 10th and the 12th.
Yes, he has two 10-8 rounds. I don't know if it was the 10th. I thought it was happened earlier than that, the first knockdown. But to say that the 10th.
No, it happened the 10th and the 12th.
Okay. So he has two 10-8 rounds in there. Just watch the fight again. It's a competitive fight. There's no doubt about it. But I'm just saying right now is that I think
add it to the list.
I'm gonna be honest with you. After round one, Fury really won. Man, I don't know if you were, bro. Listen, after round one, Fury arguably won every round until the 10th. You can give if you're being nice. You can say, okay, because it looked like Wilder was putting it on because Fury, but even he landed him. So I'm saying you can make a case.
I want you.
Wilder
keep your schedule. But after your schedule free when Broadway adds that fight to the thing. Keep your schedule free when Broadway adds it. I want you on the thing.
I'm gonna tell you to do that next. We're gonna do that one next.
Okay, keep your schedule free. I want you on that one. This is going to be a counter.
But Broadway, you're going to count so many punches landed on the gloves, and you're going to see how Fury is just literally beating him with the jab. Like, no, I'm gonna laugh because like you'll see the fight, you'll see what I'm talking
familiar
about.
with this fight because I saw it again when the third fight happened, so I know that fight's super close. Now, I'm not saying that Fury didn't win it, but I know that fight's super close. But I'll tell you right now, you guys are out of your mind if you're going to try to tell me Parker is over Wilder. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Okay, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to give credit for Parker
anybody that wins an activity gets over Wilder because how many champions did he beat before Fury? Did he have a great resume? Did he have great wins before that?
Okay,
he fought the first guy that was a step up and he lost.
Which I mean, Chisora a step up because he's not. That's not true. And honestly, if we're being honest, Parker's really only step up was Joshua, and he lost that fight. And then the other step up was White, and he lost that fight. So if we're really comparing it, and
but Ruiz wasn't a step up. Ruiz, I mean, like you said,
at the point, it wasn't a step up. Actually, Parker was a favorite in that fight, so it wasn't a step up. Actually,
yeah, but I mean, he did it. I was going to ask you, Ezra, you do realize that if Joyce beats Parker, that's a better win than Helenius. And if Parker beats Joyce, that's just a better win than Helenius. Because Helenius already lost to Dylan White, to Chisora, and I think he lost to Harold Washington.
I 100% agree with that. But let's get to that point, though, right? They were talking now. We're not talking about what could possibly happen.
Also, like, Wilder's coming off a long layoff. Do you expect him to fucking face Joshua in his first fight or Usyk in his first fight? Or do you expect him to take a fight that a guy that's not a bum, because I wouldn't consider Helenius a bum, but he's also not top 5 heavyweight. I'm okay with that choice of opponent.
Because this is what you're doing.
I think a top 10 opponent.
Let me answer, Paulie.
I think he
because you can't win.
Top 10 opponent.
Because Wilder can't win. Wilder can't win because he gets a win, right? And it gets a nobody, and that doesn't count. Or he fights the best guy and he loses, and then that really knocks him down to the thing. And if he beats someone that's a nobody, then it's like, oh, he never stepped up. Right, and really for Wilder, the only step up could be is Anthony Joshua, Usyk, or Fury, and he really can't get those fights even if he wanted to.
No.
So it's funny. So he's in a no-win situation.
If he got a top 10, like
hold on, Polo.
No. I have a question though. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you fought Charles Martin, say Charles Martin came off a win, he'll get because bro, we can't say that's a. Well, Charles Martin.
Well, Helenius is coming off 2 vicious wins against Kanaki.
Is he a top 10?
And Kanaki was undefeated.
He could have.
I'm just going.
Top 10 right now.
I'm literally actually just going by your guys' rules. I'm trying to figure out where your guys' rules are because I feel like they adjust.
Hergovich got Zilly Zhang, okay, and we just said Ruiz got Ortiz, which is a top 10. You want to say top 10? You want to talk about the top?
I think Wilder fights Parker. He beats him right now. That would have been a good. If he fought Parker coming, he would have. I think
he can't fight Parker. Parker's a boxer. He can't. It's not even possible. But honestly, if I'll be honest with you, what's a better win? Honestly, if you're being honest, Kanaki or Chisora, what's a better win? Because I think they're dead even. I think that is like as much of a wash as you could possibly make it. Because you know what Chisora's never beaten? He's never been a contender. He's never been a world champion. He's never been anyone of any note. Chisora has never beat anyone in any step-up fight.
So Sora never beat a contender? So wait, so Sora's never beat a contender?
Chisora has never beat a legit contender. Chisora has never beat a legit contender.
Beat
Helenius, we just said right now you weren't gonna give. You just said Helenius was you weren't gonna give him credit for that. You just told me right now.
No. Helenius is top 10. Listen, Helenius is not a top 10 like
first of all,
ring
okay.
or stuff, but I think he is rated in the WBA though.
He's a top 20.
Yeah, but Flip is top 10 and so is Ortiz. Where's Helenius?
When you guys are saying top 10, who's rating these?
A long layoff, bro. Like
the ones that you're using, the ring ratings.
No, I don't use ring rating. I hate ring magazine.
But do you want to have your own and hold that as a standard? Because we're talking about but we're talking about the wins. What's the best win?
I'm saying right now.
So the best win, the best win right now is Ortiz. So Ruiz would be above Wilder because his best win will be better than Wilder's best win. So you got to stop that right there.
Wait, who's the best?
Ruiz beating Ortiz is a better win than if Wilder beats Helenius. So you have to put him above.
No. Why would I have to do that when Wilder already beat Ortiz twice? More in prime Ortiz. so I and he actually knocked him out cold. He didn't even have to go to decision.
But you asked me, and that's why I'm telling you. Helenius, Ruiz beating Ortiz is a better win than Helenius.
To be fair,
now we're just doing the latest than what you did for me lately.
Ezra, to be honest, like obviously Helenius had that big win, but he's not a top 10 rating, TRB, whatever rating you. He's a guy ranked in the sanction bodies because they need to fill. But bro, I saw this guy already lose. I saw him get knocked out in person.
I've seen Joseph Parker lose twice. I've seen him lose twice.
But not by knockout. Wait, but bro, have you ever seen him like laid out cold, knocked out? I seen him in person by Harold Washington.
Division. I've seen Lennox Lewis get knocked out by Hassan Rahman.
But Hassan Rahman was a champion, bro.
The Lennox avenged those losses. As Wilder, he got a chance and couldn't.
Oliver McCall had a panic attack. He literally flipped out.
But Lennox avenged him though, so that's wrong, no.
No, but Harold
and Lennox avenged both of his losses. Come on, bro. Is Wilder ever gonna avenge his loss?
Ever avenge his loss to Buster Douglas?
But that's not what we're talking about. He said Lennox Lewis, and I just told him. But Lennox avenged his losses.
But when Lennox lost, did he lose to the best heavyweight in the world? Because that's what Wilder did. He lost the best heavyweight in the world. See, when Lennox lost, it wasn't the best heavyweight in the world. So we're saying,
but he avenged him. So
but don't matter. He shouldn't have lost in the first place.
Yeah,
Wilder should avenge his loss then if he's the best.
Why? I didn't say he's the best. See, that's not the argument. The argument is if he's top 5. I never say he's the best. It's clear he's not the best. What you guys said was he.
Let's go. So let's let Wilder get a win, and we'll see. Because the thing is, bro.
Yeah, let him get a win first.
Next thing, say like whatever.
He ain't won in 3 years. When was his last win?
Bro,
maybe it's 4 years.
No, hold on, bro. Let Wilder beat Helenius and say he fights like a Parker, or he'll eventually get a name. If he gets Andy Ruiz and beats him, then he's arguably top 3, no discussion. Because Ruiz is a former. Like if Wilder beats Ruiz, that's the name. That's the credit. Like he's a former, that's gonna be a good win.
Like I said, I have no argument. I have no problem with you saying Ruiz is top 5. I have no problem with it. Right? I have no problem with it. You can say Ruiz is top 5. He's got the Joshua win. He beat an old Ortiz, but he beat Ortiz. I'll give you that. But we're not gonna say Parker is ahead of him. We're not gonna say Orgovich is ahead of him. It just doesn't make sense. Okay, it's just
they are. They're active and they're in the top 10.
Okay, Ezra, I agree. I see where.
Okay, question. In this top 10, you're looking at. Go to ring. Where is Wilder and where's Orgovich?
They have Wilder, I believe, at 3 or 4.
Exactly. So then in the rankings you guys are using, Wilder's even ahead in that one. And I'm not even using that BS ranking, but you guys are using it, and Wilder's ahead of there. So you guys should just listen to the one you follow, the one you guys have been going off of what's credible wins and what isn't. Wilder's number 3. They're telling you right now. He's number 3.
So they have obviously Fury,
checkmate.
Whatever, then they have
checkmate.
That's checkmate.
Checkmate.
But you guys, I'll tell you one thing. I was supposed to go to sleep like 40 minutes ago. This was a beautiful conversation. You guys got all the energy out of me. Any energy I had left, you guys took it all out of me from this last.
Sleep like a fucking.
I'm about to go knock out. And I start to post this on my Spotify. So that's a few steps I have to go about this. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for coming on. Broadway always, Frank always, Polo always.
Hold on. Let me promote my shit.
Oh, Broadway, go ahead. Promote.
Everybody who's listening, go follow me on Instagram, Broadway Joel, on Twitter at _Broadway Joel. And most importantly, go hit that subscribe button on my YouTube channel, Broadway Joel. I'm the voice of Dominican boxing. Every Dominican boxer you can think of, I've interviewed, with the exception of Edwin De Los Santos, and he's coming on the show soon. So stay tuned.
I can't emphasize this enough.
Bro.
I can't emphasize this enough. This man is truly the voice of Dominican boxing, and Dominican boxing is having one of the greatest times. And like I said, Broadway, do the history on this, but I think this is probably one of the greatest times ever in the history of Dominican boxing. And
it is.
This man is striking gold right now because he truly is the voice. He was bringing this up before all the success happened. He was the voice of Dominican boxing, and he's been bringing attention to that part of boxing. And not just that though. He just covers all boxing. It's not just that, but that's what he is. He's the voice, but he covers all boxing. You need to follow this man. He's got great content. Just trust. I put all my faith in this man right now. This is one of the best YouTube pages right now. Thank you, Frank, for being on.
Thank you.
Thank you, Polo, for being on. This has been a great heated debate.
For sure,
really
man. But we got heavyweight. We got the heavyweight division back. You know,
we covered everything.
It's exciting, man.
We covered everything.
We covered everything.
Heavyweight is back, man.
Featherweight, exactly. Featherweight's a heavyweight.
Heavyweight division's not dead. Remember that.
All right,
I'm out.
Heavyweight. Yeah.
Peace.